Okay. Get that turned on. Yep. Hello, everybody. Throwing you for a loop today. All right. Is that turned off over there? Yes, it is. Okay. We can start with this then. Queen! I'm everybody. Happy Thursday. Buenos dias. Will you stop glitching? My God. As we come in, make sure we're doing the good things. I know that I'm on here early, but I was ready early and I didn't want to sit around for half an hour. If I sit around for another half an hour, I will just continue to add to my outline things that I'll not be able to get to. So I just figured I'd move on. Good morning, Bourbon. I'm doing well today. How are you? Where's your source for that, Cap? I'd like to see that. You have a source for that? Yes. Because of Oya yesterday. It's just hot. The heat waves are heating. Good morning, DJ Bookie. It is early. Look, Eli, if he says he's going to stand there and do a speech, he's a man of his word, right? All right, good morning. I can't say good afternoon because I started early, but good morning to everybody, no matter what wokey time zone you live in. I appreciate you guys coming in here and being in here early. I know it might mess with my algorithm, and so because it might mess with my algorithm, let's make sure we are doing all of the good things, please. If you're watching over here on TikTok, hi, Adi. Let's tap that screen, boop that screen, please. We like to hit 50,000 likes before the top of every hour, so 50,000 likes an hour. So let's work on that, okay? So it should be from 9:30 my time to 10:30 my time. within the hour should at least be 50,000 likes. But I know you guys can do better. I've seen you guys get to 100,000 likes an hour. So let's work on that, okay? Let's get those fingers tapping and moving. As Ari says, share out the live. That means you can repost it, especially repost it before I start playing videos, because no matter what we have tried, TikTok is in a fucking mood of overcorrection. And whenever I start to play videos, it gets very, very mad at me, and I usually get restricted in some way, shape, or form. So let's repost that out right now. Add it to your story. You can share it to 5 of your friends. Do not spam the copy link button, but just share it out. Okay, let's do that. Do your daily heart me. If you have not done so, you should already be following me. So there should be a little gold heart up there that you click on, and you hit your send your daily heart me. It gives you access to stickers in the chat that you can use. Fun ones of my face that you guys can use. I saw you guys knocked out that rose goal. Thank you so much. We have the little community hearts now. Just make sure we are keeping track of what goals we can accomplish as we get to the end of the week. I know that we are left with like mostly I only have one. Geez, I didn't even realize. You guys are so fucking fantastic. I didn't even realize. If you click on my profile picture and see my C5 gift gallery, I literally have one thing left. So if one person sends me 2 corgis, hi Peter, if one person sends me 2 corgis, my gift gallery is completed for the day, and then we can work on, if you want to, I signed up for that, that match made. Oh my God, Adi, that's not what I meant by that, but thank you, Adi, thank you. I'm getting corgis shaking butts. I'm getting crabs. We love that. Such a wonderful start to the day. I'm part of the little Matchmania thing. I don't know if you can fill that out too. That's awesome. But if not, my gift gallery is completed. And yes, now we can focus on Audrey's gift gallery before the end of this week, guys. It's Thursday, so it's not a lot of time. If you're watching over on YouTube, I would appreciate it if you would hit that thumbs up button for me if you have not already. It just helps push us out onto the algorithms, especially on shorts over there on YouTube. And it does promote the idea of having conversations again. I'm always willing to have conversations with people who would like to call in on the number, but I will ask you to source your claims. I do only have conversations based off of factually based evidence and not your feelings. If you have not watched my latest video on TikTok and YouTube, you will see exactly why I only have conversations based off of factual evidence, because feelings are feelings, nothing more than feelings. All right. If you are watching on YouTube as well, make sure that you subscribe. You can also become a member. You can send jewels, you can send donations, and you can send super chats. If the chat starts moving too fast, but you have something you would really, really like me to read, you can send it that way. It also does help me out. Pay your content creators. Hello over there on Twitch. I see you. Hi, Yami. If you guys are not following me, please do so. You can also subscribe over there. If you pay for Prime, Jeff Bezos gives you 1 free Prime sub a month. Why not use it on me? If you do subscribe, you get access to emotes in the chat similar to the ones that are over here on TikTok. And you can send bits. I think I've got that covered. All right. I have my goal that I have every single day, but my goal is a little different. Why? Because we had my wonderful, wonderful community. We had Omi My and we had Oya competing to complete out my goal yesterday, and we love that. So we're going to give W's to Oya right now because that 45 is going towards the goal today. So the goal that we're starting out with today is only 55. I have 55 in my goal for a stream that could be 2 hours or 2.5 hours. If we would like to start working on that, I would appreciate it. You can do a $1 train, a $2 train. We do crowdfund, but make sure that we are paying for women's labor and paying for labor in general. I would appreciate it if we did that, okay? So that we can start getting that down. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. I'm already getting yelled at. What am I getting yelled at by? Let me see. My Cash App has been like slow to like notify me lately, and it's really starting to frustrate me. Thank you, Queen. I want huge W's to Queen, please, for the $20 starting us off today from one mama to another. Thank you so much, Queen. I love you so much. And please keep doing your topic on leaving white men behind, because I know and I love you and you're like me and you are legitimately trying to have conversations, but it's just kind of also like food for my soul to watch them crash out at their fragility as men. It's kind of my favorite thing that you do. So please keep running that topic because I love it so much. And also, can I get W's to Lenati for the $10? It said, let's get this goal down. Start a $1 train or $2 train. Monty's labor isn't free and should be appreciated. Te quiero mucho. Te quiero mucho, mi amor. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate it. So look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at where we're at to start the day. And remember, I was going on vacation. I would really like to be like, Melissa, I'm drunken outside. So if you want to contribute to that, you can do so. All right, well, we can get started today. Oh, God. Let me do this real quick. And then we'll get started with our day. Taco Cat, how are you today? You're okay. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for, please? All right. Why are you still supporting Trump? Sure. Sure.
Even that happened later on. David Letterman, Jay Leno may tell a quick joke about a president. 99% of the show was about what's going on, funny stuff. So Republican Democrats can come home and enjoy their day.
Okay.
When my president decided to run, I watched MSNBC, CNN, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, The View, and so on, speak only about one man every day for 8 years, nonstop, no matter what guest came on, and never promoted people they liked, never promoted policies they wanted to change. Just hate this fucking guy.
What about David Letterman and Jay Leno? Were they political?
What about him?
Were they political?
No, not much. Not like today. Do you want to really?
Did you not
pull up a
watch
show?
David Letterman and Jay Leno growing up? Which usually most households would choose. I know that was like a big.
Yeah, they may take a joke towards the president, a 5% joke of the show.
And they railed on Bush too. They made jokes on
Jokingly.
Bush. Jokingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Respectfully, jokingly too.
What? And so you're crying about the media being disrespectful, using their First Amendment right against the president.
Yeah. Hey, if you think it's cool to radicalize, 50, 60 million people every day and keep pushing into their face, hate these people, hate them, then
Donald Trump does that.
You're cool.
Trump does that.
No. The news does that because they could cover whatever they want. They could tell you about atrocities happening in Nigeria.
Do you hold the same standard for Donald Trump?
What do you mean? He's a citizen. He's not a network news channel.
He's the president of the United States who literally comes on the media and tells people that the left are woke, dangerous people. They're poisoning the blood of our country. We're going to teach them. That's what he said yesterday. The Dems, we're going to teach them.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Sounds like a threat.
Sounds like a sentence.
Yeah. Do you hold the same standard that the words that he's using, the rhetoric he's using is important?
Yeah, I think he is divisive in his speeches. Okay. Yeah.
What about Rush Limbaugh? Is Rush Limbaugh ever an issue for you? That was the media. What did he do?
Well, Rush came from, a much more religious view with some of his takes. So Rush had his own talk show and spoke his own world.
It's just funny that we're talking about very specific late night hosts who honestly I don't care about. I don't watch late night. Stephen Colbert was one of the only ones that I enjoyed, but I enjoyed him from his Comedy Central days. So
right before he became radicalized.
What was his job on Comedy Central when he had the Colbert Report? Do you know?
To be funny, to get ratings.
What was the premise of his show?
I don't know. What was it?
So he was supposed to be kind of the answer to the Jon Stewart show, which was supposed to be a complete satirical view of like Democratic politics. And he was the other side. He was a satirical view of Republican politics. That's why his was red and Jon Stewart's was blue. He was supposed to be an over-the-top representation of making fun of Republican policy and politics. So I don't think you're paying attention to the media quite the way you say you are. It just sounds like you're crying about the First Amendment.
Sure, I understand. And like I would say, I think my president, when, he goes to ask a reporter a question, the first question he asks them is, what station are you with?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. He shouldn't be asking that. He should just be answering the questions that they are asking him.
Absolutely. Okay. But I grant him a length of disrespect when those news medias themselves started off promoting that he was a Russian spy.
They didn't do that. Can you show me a piece?
You're an adult, man.
Show me.
Don't
no,
pretend
I
you
am an
didn't
adult.
watch it.
I am an adult, and show me
How dare
one
you
news
act
network.
Like we didn't watch that.
Show me one news network that said
serious?
he was a Russian agent, a Russian spy. Show
Russia
me one.
Collusion?
Show me one news network that said he was a Russian spy that accused him of that. Show me one.
I'm walking inside now. Give me 30
Cool.
seconds. We'll get
Awesome.
there. It's amazing you
That
don't think
they
we didn't
themselves,
talk about
not
Russian
that they were,
collusion
not
every
that,
day.
yeah, no, I don't talk about Russian collusion every day. Actually, the last time I talked about
No,
it was
the
probably about
news.
3
The
months ago.
news.
They talked about, what did they talk about in way of collusion? Did they accuse him of being a Russian
Yeah,
spy, or did
that
they
he
say
had a
there was an
secret.
investigation?
No, they said he had a secret server in his basements that were
Who said
connected to Russian spies. I'm going to pull it up. Give me a
Cool.
second. I like facts too.
Cool. While we wait for you to do that, because I want to give you the time to do that, I'm going to tell my community guys, keep tapping that screen. Make sure we are working on that. We're 9:48 and you're at 14,000 likes. You guys are doing wonderful. I appreciate it. If you're just coming in on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. Make sure we're doing all of the good things while we're sitting here. Okay? We like to. I don't mind dead space on here if we're talking about factually based information. That's fine with me. You guys know that. So.
Just pulling that up right now.
Sure, you're fine.
All right. Do you want me to screen up, or do you want to just use an audio, or?
I would like the title of what you're looking at, and I will pull it up.
Oh, it's the news stations themselves.
Accused him of being a Russian spy. I would like to see that.
I have video and audio.
Cool. Give me the title so I can look it up.
So I just went on TikTok so I could get
You
video.
went on TikTok.
Right,
TikTok. Okay.
right.
What on TikTok? Just tell me what on TikTok it is. What
Sure.
news station is it saying this thing?
Well, I didn't get to play it yet. As far as I can see, it was
I didn't ask you to play it. I asked you to tell me what you searched to find what you're looking at. Tell me what the audio is. What news nation are you replaying?
So I typed in news stations accuse Donald Trump of being a Russian collusion.
Of being a Russian collusion?
I typed it in wrong. I was going to type in collusion. I typed it in wrong, but it'll pull up what I'm looking. Second video, it says, we discussed the allegations that Russia hacked. It's going to show you videos from CNN.
Wait. We discussed the allegations that Russia hacked. Where in there is that accusing Donald Trump, the news stations
I didn't play the video yet. That's just a promo
Okay, go ahead, play it.
All right, let's take a listen. Do you want me to cam up or you want to hear it?
No, I just want to hear it. It's fine.
All right, let's take a listen. Give me 1 second, please.
Not want to come to terms with the fact that
Russia hacked the election to tilt it to Mr. Trump.
The Russians definitively hacked the election.
Russia did hack the election.
No doubt. The Russians hacked the election.
Yes, Russia hacked the election.
In fact, Russia hacked the election.
President-elect Donald Trump still not sounding convinced that Russia hacked the election.
the president does not want to come to terms with the fact that the Russians hacked the election.
I mean, it just goes on.
And where
on.
in that is the claim that you made that they were going to accuse Donald Trump of being a Russian spy versus just talking about the fact that it was proven that Russia hacked the elections? I know. That was the claim you made.
A comprehension issue.
I know.
Yeah, like
Maybe it seems we have a
didn't blame
correlation
Trump.
issue.
They didn't
It's
blame
almost-
Trump.
no.
Yeah, it had nothing to
Taco.
do with him. It was just Russia collusion towards nothing.
Taco. No.
Or was
So-
it
no, but
towards the
your claim
election?
oh goodness. So your claim was that the news agencies all accused Donald Trump of being a Russian spy. And see, even in that own video that you played, it was just them talking about the fact that Russia did in fact attempt to interfere with our elections. This was even headed up by Marco Rubio when he headed up that committee in the Senate.
And there were about
What
a dozen Russian agents who were charged with interference. So, but again, that's not
Where
the claim
did
you made.
news agencies? Yeah, where did news broadcasters call him a Russian spy?
So if I have another video of a literal FBI agent being charged with this
FBI
exact
agent
thing.
being charged with what?
Well, listen.
No, I don't want to listen. I would like to see these things for myself. I really don't like chopped up, highly edited videos from TikTok. To me, that is not factually based information.
It's on the
So if you could
same
give me-
page.
If you could give me the news station that it is coming from so I can find the actual article with the video and I can look at it myself, I would prefer not to be searching things
That's
on TikTok
fine.
that
That's
are chopped
fine.
up. Cool.
So the same thing we typed in that same top area, The
I'm
second
not
video.
using TikTok. So give me the actual news station that's in
Why?
either the bottom left
It's
or the
showing you
bottom
news
right
stations.
of edited clips. I would like the full, this thing you guys love to give Trump the benefit of the doubt for, which is
You're
context.
watching it. It's
Which is
not edited.
context, which that what you just played, even though it didn't prove your claim, was edited than a motherfucker. So I would like to know the news station that's either in the bottom left corner or the bottom right corner, and tell me what it is they are discussing so I can find the actual story on it. Okay, cool.
I'm trying to wait till they flash this news thing here. So I guess I'll have to hold off on that. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I can't believe they're not showing this, what news channel this is. It's super zoomed in. But yeah, it's fine. So once again, you're saying that, okay, people did come out and say Russia hacked it, right? Are you
Correct.
going
That
to
was
make
true.
a claim that there is no news anywhere that said Donald Trump was connected to this collusion?
That there were allegations and investigations into him possibly being connected? Absolutely, they said that. Them themselves accusing him of being connected or being a Russian spy? No.
Wait, you just said they did accuse him, but they didn't?
No, I used my words very carefully. The comprehension issue is comprehending, okay? What I said is you are going to find news networks who say there are allegations and investigations into whether Donald Trump was connected to some form of Russian collusion. They themselves, as the anchors, as the news organization, is not saying Donald Trump did anything. You will not find that.
Okay, I can accept that term, and that's just fine. To move on a little bit from here, as much hate as we do see
That was
towards
a
this
concession.
man, that's okay.
W concession. But I wanted to pick up on something because I had put in the chat how many comedians roasted Obama, right? There was actually several of them that made comments that said that he made his work hard because there were zero scandals around. Right, there was very few scandals around Obama, right? There's also plenty of comedians who made it almost like their entire whole skit to roast Bush, specifically Will
Their whole
Ferrell
skit?
on SNL. Yeah, dude, they made it half their show on SNL during the entire Bush administration with Will Ferrell to mock him. So just like your weird audacity that, oh my God, comedians are
SNL is a
making
comedy
fun of
show.
my
It's not
president.
CNN.
Okay, but again, you have not proven any point in way of CNN going after Trump. Like, if Trump didn't do things that would require them to talk about him, he's the president. I do not understand this crying about the First Amendment and talking
He's
about
had
the president.
91 felonies overturned.
No, he has not.
What?
Show me that.
What?
Okay.
So he's had 91 felony convictions
And 34
overturned.
stuck. Right.
Can you show me that?
No, that's, oh my God, you don't, no. That's
give me
not
a
what
second.
that means. That's not what that means. That's not what that means at all. I can't, oh my God. Was I wrong? Like, he was first talking about comedians while he's looking up these 91 convictions being overturned. Was I wrong when he was talking about comedians? He didn't just target CNN, and he was just going on about.
No, he literally started with Johnny Carson. That's who he started with.
Yeah, like, so people that aren't on CNN as comedians. But you mentioned, late night comedians.
Mm-hmm.
So SNL, Saturday Night Live.
My
Interesting.
apologies. Criminal counts. Sorry about that. So Donald Trump was originally charged with 91 criminal counts across 4 separate criminal indictments.
Sure.
All you saw was a sitting candidate president have the Department of Justice angled at him more than any North Korean dictatorship you've ever watched in presidential politics ever.
Maybe he should stop breaking the law then.
Well, once again, we could easily turn that right now and start going after the Biden family like they went after us.
They tried for 4 years. They tried for 4 years. Do you not know that the
was
GOP
under the Biden administration?
Did you not know that the GOP in Congress for 4 years held investigative committees on the Biden family
As
for
they
4 years?
should have.
And
As
what they
they
find?
should have.
And what they find?
They found they didn't find anything credible.
Cool. Awesome.
We found that
Awesome. Go get it.
But we
Yeah,
all
like,
saw
nobody
the
cares.
videos of
Biden's-
the man hanging out with top oligarchs and doing big business things, pretending he's a
You didn't
painter,
find that.
making millions.
And he was not working in a governmental capacity. What the fuck is Jared Kushner doing?
He's an actual owner of the companies. He's not some painter of a son. You know, he's
He was
actual.
not an owner. What did he
credible.
work for? I love when we do this. Let's go down this rabbit hole. Where did Hunter Biden work?
I don't know what you mean.
What company did he work for that you guys all say he was corrupt about? Do you even know?
No.
Cool. But he was corrupt, and you know that. But you don't know the company he worked for. What country was that company in? Do you know?
No.
Okay, cool. But he's corrupt. We for sure know that he was corrupt, yeah. Did he get that job based off of his name? Probably. But he also worked for Amtrak before that. So, yeah, Blue Eyes, that's the company, because he didn't know.
Well,
but-
you know, federal tax evasion, having firearms, things like that.
Uh-huh,
You know,
and one he
it's
pled-
saying live
one-
on camera that doing
one
meth
he
is
pled,
good.
One he pled guilty to, one he was convicted of, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
What
Okay.
what board did this strange
Which is
president's
funny
What does
son
that have
serve
to do?
on?
What does that have to do with the Biden administration, though?
What the hell is Hunter Biden doing on a Ukrainian energy company board?
Oh, you Googled it. Cool. He worked for Amtrak, so he got hired. And do I think that there was some sort of nepotism because of his name there? Yeah, probably, but that's not illegal. Unethical? Maybe. Not illegal.
Well, then what are you bitching about Trump for?
What
The
am I bitching
same
about Trump
thing
for?
right there. You just talked about his son.
Because how did that benefit
What?
how did that benefit the Biden administration by Hunter Biden
Yep.
benefiting off of his last name?
Because we heard videos of him saying, "Listen, you want to meet my dad? You know, we
Nope,
can work
he didn't
something
say
out."
that. That's not what he said. What you're talking about is a phone call talking about the big guy, which we already know was most referring to not Biden. I can't remember his fucking name now, but it wasn't his dad.
It wasn't his dad. Okay,
Nope.
cool, man. Yeah, it's all good. I can
Whereas
land
we
my
have
plane with
the
this and
literal-
let
we
other
have
guests
literally
in.
Baba
the
Linsky.
prime minister of, I think it was Indonesia, that walked up to Trump and was like, "Hey, can we meet with your son to discuss a deal?" Literally going through the president to get deals made.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that happens, quite a lot. I think what's weird is they're
What?
pretending Hunter didn't
Give
do
me
it.
another
No.
example.
Yeah, Taka. Or he can give us the one government contract that a company received that because Hunter Biden worked for that company.
Yeah, once again, there was no proof found, so no one's going, there's no proof.
Okay. So there was no government contract given to any company that Hunter Biden worked for, and yet we know that when Donald Trump was elected,
You see,
to
it would be very hard to
president-
prove it.
I'm
'cause it
still
was-
talking, Taco. I'm still talking. Please be patient. Thank you so much for your understanding and cooperation. Yet we know that Eric Jr. and Don Jr. Or sorry, Don
Eric,
Jr.
yeah.
and Eric both, whatever. They're all juniors at this point. They both went out and purchased, guess what? Drone making companies that were then, after Donald Trump was in office and in power, given government contracts. Brand new drone companies that now have government contracts where they are directly making money off of this presidency.
And most recent investment in the Kazakh mining company for a drilling contract in Kazakhstan that was given to them by the government.
Yeah, once again, if there's anything illegal happening, I'm sure they will be charged with that. So I don't know if anything illegal is happening because they are being
Then you
capitalist.
shouldn't be upset about Hunter Biden. Then you shouldn't be upset about Hunter Biden. Nothing illegal happened.
You're right. Nothing was found. So, and I moved on from that.
Nothing
So-
illegal happened.
Absolutely. So,
No,
listen.
so give it up.
Session.
Give it up. You're like you shouldn't be upset. Yep, that's what it sounds like.
Well, once again, to kind of land the plane on all of this will come down to a presidential election again. This is my president's last term. He's not running
It's
anymore.
it's going to come down to the midterms. Actually, that's going to be the big
Sure,
test
and we
of
can
people
get
for
there.
his-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
not
But
going
at
well.
the end of the day, you should want the Democratic Party to win, right? That's the end of the day. And I ask you, what is your best bet to win? Now, I believe
I don't
it's
talk
Michelle
about. She's not going to run. I don't know if you know
I
anything.
know, but I was
Sure.
just going to say
Cool.
Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom. But if that's not going to
Cool.
happen, who do you really think
I
would
don't.
represent you best?
The thing is the reason I'm not talking about it yet is because they have not officially announced. Until they officially announce,
What a
who's going
strange
to be
thing. You
out
don't
to
have
the
a
midterms.
theory.
why would I talk about something on a theory if I'm going to bring up somebody that I would like to run who decides they're not going to? Then I wasted
Because
my
I
energy.
can easily do that. I can easily say Marco Rubio or anyone, because all they have to do is stand for the same values that my president ran on. So
Sure.
I don't care who you vote for. The final question will be, are you for open borders and trans ideology having a full gas back in our country?
Wow, this
Can you give
this conversation has go so weird.
No, those are
give
the
me,
most two
no,
important
give me, awesome,
topics.
cool. Give me a Democratic policy that was for open borders.
You didn't have a policy, just like we didn't have one to close them.
Oh, really?
Wait a second.
Okay.
You actually
So
did.
it's not closed.
You actually did have policy to close it.
No, we
It's just
didn't.
not-
No, we didn't. What policy did we give to
Langford's
DHS?
bill? Langford's bill?
The executive
closed
orders.
the
Even
border under
howdy,
zero
the
policy
executive
change.
orders Donald Trump tried to do in way of asylum.
All we let
Suspending asylum
DH do was their
application.
job.
Yeah,
So-
they
so
were
once
doing
again-
that. Yeah, they were doing that already.
It's like you
They've been
didn't
doing
watch
their
the
job the entire
country.
time.
It's like you didn't watch CNN interview Kamala and ask her to her face.
Seems like you
why
watch
are you
CNN a
letting
lot
all
more
these
than I
people
do.
in? They were interviewing your president or your
That's
vice
so
president.
Weird.
Mine.
I mean, it's like you
everybody.
deny
Hey,
this
I'm gonna-
blatantness
I'm
of your
gonna-
party.
Okay, I don't like muting, but I'm doing this because this is weird. Okay, so I'm gonna help you out with this, Taco. I personally do not have a vice president, nor do I personally have a president. The United States of America has a president, and they have a vice president. I just want to be clear on that one. So it's weird when you're like, your vice president,
Right.
like you were ignoring that she was also the vice president while you've been in this country.
She was
But
my
you
vice
called
president.
Donald Trump
Yeah.
my president. Okay, but you don't
everybody's.
have one. I just like the country
I don't
has
have one.
right? It's just
Yes.
It's just the
Who is
phrasing
the country?
weird.
The citizens.
The people. So he's the president
Yeah,
of
so,
all the
yeah,
people.
the people have a president.
Cool. So the vice president, the people also
So
had a
back
vice
to
president.
the
It was
conversation,
everybody's.
and I
It was
don't know why
everybody's.
Democrats run from this. I don't know why
I'm a
you're
registered
so scared.
independent. Audrey, I think, is unaffiliated. So
Well, hey, and I hear that all the
Nonpartisan, yeah.
time. All the time. You defend these Democratic stances,
Which
yet we're going to
ones?
vote
I
over
haven't
your
defended
head.
a stance yet.
Well, what I'm
we
saying
haven't
is
defended
you-
any stances, and you're just like gish galloping. But I literally am nonpartisan to the point where I can't vote in my own midterms. Not that it didn't matter much
I
in
hear
mine
this all
because
the time.
there's one person. I'm literally still talking.
She's
God
telling
damn, have
you.
some decorum. Yeah, like I'm explaining this to you because you're like, I hear this all the time, right? So I live in the state of Florida. You can look it up anytime you choose. Primaries are on August 18th. And see, because I am registered as nonpartisan and I am not affiliated with any party within this state, I cannot vote in my midterms. I'm going to change that. However, there's not enough time for me to do it now, but I literally cannot vote because we have closed primaries in this state. Unfortunately, it didn't matter for me to change it this time anyways because there's literally only one person from each party running in my area, so it really didn't matter at all.
I live in Florida as well. So once again, when it comes down to these two subjects,
So you should know it. Okay.
So I feel that a lot of people run, and I think it's the most important two subjects. And I mean these questions from my heart. If you can answer them honestly, and let me ask the question without freaking out on me, because I mean this question. If Democrat now, if you're independent, that's great, and I wish the independents had a representative because you are the biggest vote in our country,
True.
or lack thereof. But for some reason, you don't have a representative. I don't know why that is. But another thing to land here, it will come down to left and right. I believe asking a million Republicans, are you for the strong borders? Are you for trans ideology out of our country? It's a simple yes for them. If I flip it to the Democratic Party and say, if you were to win power, would you be for open borders or amnesty for 8 million people and trans ideology having full gas again, back in schools, back in things, back in everything?
why did you change the first question? Why didn't you ask Democrats the same question that you asked Republicans on the border? Because that answer would be the same.
That they're for strong borders?
Yeah, absolutely. They would love
Yes.
strong border reform. Yes.
I'm a generalist. You know, I debate
That's
a
why
lot.
there
A lot of
was
people generally, and I don't see that coming from the Democratic
Well,
Party.
I like
I see-
details.
Well, you
I
would
like
be-
I see
details.
California offering
So-
licenses to
Taco.
illegals.
Oh my God,
Right,
we
that's
can
for
get into
insurance
that.
purposes.
Yeah, that's for
I understand
insurance.
you don't
for
understand
driving.
that.
Yeah, it's for this, for
But-
that.
So
Yeah.
Taco, I don't know if you know this, but within the first few weeks of Joe Biden's presidency, the Democrats introduced an immigration reform bill, H.R. 1177, that was specifically targeted at decreasing the wait times that people have in actually becoming citizens or getting a certified immigration status, and also was to fund additional people being at the border. And yet it failed out of committee because of Republicans blocking it. It just didn't make it. The Democratic Party also introduced 5 additional bills the entire first 3 years of Biden's presidency, specifically aimed at securing the southern border, right, and the northern border, because we have issues up there too. It's just not as big. Unfortunately, the Republicans, they also did put up 4, right, and only one actually made it to the floor, and that's Senate Bill 4361, that was tailor-made by Senator Langford in conjunction with Democratic members of the Senate. And you can watch.
I believe it was Chris
Senator
Murphy
Langford.
and independent Kirsten Sinema,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, before we
Yes.
go on to that bill, to return back to the U.S. Citizenship Act
but
of
Democrats
HR.
are for securing the southern border. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, and in that bill, HR 1177, what it does is it provided an 8-year path to citizenships for up to 11 million undocumented immigrants under DACA, and most conservative lawmakers opposed it because it rewarded illegal immigration, and it did not include border security, enough of it like we wanted, and it could overwhelm
So
our
it was in
immigration
there.
courts.
It was in
Wait,
there.
But it
did
could
include
overwhelm the
border
immigration
security.
court
Thank you for
system.
the concession.
Cool.
Thank you
It
for the
wasn't.
concession.
It did not include
Again, that's
enough.
why they wanted to accept.
Enough.
Oh, but it included it. But it still
And it already
included
told
it.
us
Thank
that
you
we
for the
wanted to give
concession.
11
Thank you for the
million
concession.
extras.
Oh, Pookie, you're so great.
Hey,
Thank
ma'am,
you so
take
much
it
for the
easy
concession.
during the
This is
fucking
doing
adult
great for
debate.
you.
Oh, honey. And what page is there about DACA for HR 1177?
It
That's not the
protected.
same one.
What do you mean, protected dreamers?
Hold on. You said HR 1177?
Yeah, HR 1177.
I'm getting improve and enhance the work opportunity tax credit.
Do it with Congress 117.
Well, you're wondering why we went against it. We don't want to give an 8-year pathway to 11 million
That's
people.
18.
That's why. And I just said you're the party of amnesty for 11 million people, and you said
Donald
we're
Trump-
about
Right,
strong
Donald
borders.
Trump gave amnesty to Venezuelans before he left Congress in his first term, so cry me a river.
Not
Yeah,
11
because like
million.
what did 5 years old? What did a
Have it.
5-year-old do when their parents drug them across the southwest border when they are not of age to consent to being drugged? So why are we punishing children that were brought here against their will because they're not able to consent at that time to being moved places by their families? Why are we punishing them? Do we punish the kids when a murderer goes out and shoots somebody on the street that's innocent? No.
What do you mean, allowing them to be citizens here?
Yes, that was the original idea
Yeah,
of DACA,
sure.
because we weren't punishing children for the
Absolutely.
quote crimes of their parents.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing we do in America, which is very kind, is if you do sneak into our country with a child, we put it into our schools. We give it school lunches and books
Put it
for
into
money
the schools.
that is not allocated for the child. So we start stressing our systems to the brink because we're such a nice country.
Do those parents work and pay into the system?
They just got here.
Do they work and pay into the system?
They just got here.
That's not what I asked you. Do they work and pay into the system?
How could they get a job so fast?
There's this thing called an ITIN number that they can get.
How'd they get that so fast?
They applied for it.
Wow, all of them?
I didn't say all of them. You're making the
Okay.
assumption that none of them, right? That's why we don't do
Right.
that. Right. So then if they are paying into that system, paying taxes in that local economy, they are paying for their children's education already.
Are they getting benefits from that tax system?
No. Federally?
Oh, so
no.
you're
Statewide?
fighting for slavery.
Statewide, maybe. Federal? No.
Oh, sounds like you're fighting
Yeah,
for
they
a form
don't
of
get federal
slavery.
reimbursements.
No, I didn't
Sounds
say
like
that.
you're cool with them
I
not
didn't
getting
say that
everything they get.
Actually,
Taco Cat, I didn't
No,
say
that would be
well,
incorrect.
and I didn't say that
already.
system was okay. I said that is the current system. See,
Would you rather them
Democrats-
get the benefits?
Democrats would propose things like the Citizenship Act to make that so that they can actually contribute and get the benefit that U.S. citizens do. You don't like that.
No, I don't. And let me tell you
I know.
why. Let me
So, okay,
run,
so then don't cry about it to me because you don't care.
well, let me run a quick scenario
Also,
to you.
he's immediately incorrect on DACA recipients, right? Because ever since Donald Trump's first term, they stopped offering people to be here with temporary legal status under the DACA program under Trump's administration the first go round. So none of these DACA recipients, quote, just got here. So you're automatically wrong from your original premise that you tried to get a gotcha moment on that you failed at. Congratulations.
Well, we don't know the timeline because nothing's been vetted, right? We're talking about 11 million undocumented immigrants sitting in our nation, all right?
They're not undocumented if they're on DACA.
What?
They're not undocumented if they are a part of the Dreamers program. If they are on DACA, they've been granted temporary legal status
But
to
not
be
11
present within
million
the
are on
United States.
DACA. What number of 11 million do you think are on DACA?
Oh my God. Is he not
Monty, do you know
understanding?
you're
Because
muted?
he's the one that said 11 million DACA.
Oh, sorry.
No. That's
Anyways,
not what
I said you don't
There's
listen very well. Hi, Mia.
538,000
I said
active
you
DACA
don't listen
recipients.
very well. Hi, Mia.
Hello, my love. I just came up here because I'm fucking sick and tired of like pasty patrons sitting there trying to compare shit to slavery. They're still getting fucking paid. They're contributing to the system. And just because they're not getting federal benefits does not mean they can't get state benefits. Also, and that's if they're not in a state that is like, you know, not contributing to the federal government the way that, you know, places like California, New York, etc. Contribute. So if we could please stop sitting there trying to pull the slavery card when you guys really actually don't give a damn about the slavery card, especially when Trump also launched the idea of owner's responsibility when it came to hospitality and fucking agricultural workers when it comes to immigrant workers, because those are the industries that came after him when he was sitting there trying to do these mass deportations because it was hurting their industries.
And this idea of like promoting slavery, they try to accuse it of us when I just gave you that we would love to have pathways to citizenship, and you're like, absolutely not. So then you don't want to solve problems you want to Standards Act, way back in the 1930s, regardless of anyone's status as a citizen versus non-citizen, they are required to be at least paid at minimum the federal minimum wage or the state minimum wage, whichever is higher. Yet we never see the federal government, and this goes to Biden as well, go after companies where they have found that they were hiring undocumented immigrants and paying them less than the minimum wage. So please back off me with this when your president doesn't give two shits if individuals get paid less money, because, well, suing the companies and issuing them fines would be detrimental to the companies. Hell, we know that Donald Trump hired illegal immigrants to work at his hotels and build them too, so.
But you just admitted the Biden administration, the one that was supposed to fight for it, didn't. All right. The ones that were calling for the atrocities, let them continue.
That wasn't a donkey like you think it is.
No, because Ari, again, you don't listen. Ari explained to you the amount of bills put forth in legislation, in Congress, okay?
Yeah,
that the
we're not gonna
Republicans
do
shot
that.
down. I know. You're just going to complain about it and using it as a talking point.
Well,
We
let me
know
say
that.
this
That's what
why.
Donald Trump literally said he did, is he called them and said, don't bring the Langford bill on the floor. He said that.
Listen, we can't deny that we just talked about giving pathway to 8 million people who told our borders to go fuck themselves.
Who?
Right?
8 million? Who are you talking about now?
11. I'm sorry, 11 million.
Where's the 11? Are you saying 11 million over the course of? Are you saying 11 million
years.
total? 8 years.
That's the we just read 1177's rules.
Mm-hmm. No, we didn't read it actually. So what page are you looking at? Because it is 353 pages. So what page are you looking at?
It was just a summary that it says it gives an 8-year
no,
pathway.
I don't do that. I would like to see the 8-year pathway for 11 million. Over
Listen, if
here.
we can't be rooted in some kind of general truth, what the fuck are we doing?
Because I don't deal in AI overview or Chat GPT or Grok
It's
or
smarter
whatever
than
you
you.
choose.
It's pulling it up.
absolutely not. What is a what is a long language model? What does it do?
Oh my God. It comes from congress.gov. Look up H1177 and look up what it does. You're going to find out.
Hi, look on your screen. I've had it up here. I'm asking you what page of the 353
I have
pages
no
shows
idea.
exactly what
I
I'm
was
talking about.
using a
find it.
summary because I don't
find
want to
it.
read
find
350
it.
fucking
find it.
pages.
So find it. Find it.
We're having a conversation. I
No,
can't go
there's this
350
cool-
pages.
I'll
So
look up
Taco,
pathway,
there's
then.
this cool feature.
Oh, there's no word called
Um,
pathway in the 353 pages, Audie. Sorry.
Ooh, yeah, there's a Control F feature. What words would you like Moni to search? Also,
So
guys,
what are they
since we know
doing
Taco,
with an 8-year
1 second,
pathway?
Taco, you're not listening. Please shushies. Thank you. So guys, we know Taco is not going to pay for Moni's labor and doing the emotional labor of talking to him or doing the educational labor of actually looking these things up for Taco. He's already admitted he's not going to do it himself, right? So can you guys please
said it was
make sure you are
350
either sending
pages.
I'm talking. Have some self-decorum, have some self-control. Thank you. Please make sure you are sending to Monica in the way of gifts, super chats, memberships, subscriptions, bits, etc. Direct pay links in order to pay for her labor. Now, Taco, we are going to try this again. Which keywords would you like Monica to search?
You're right.
She has this 300-page bill open in front of you. Which
Sure.
keywords do you want her to search to try
please
to
let me
find
respond,
what your point is? This
Please,
isn't a
Ari.
response. This is
Ari,
a question.
do not
This is not a
control me.
response.
You're not
This
the
is not
boss
a
of me.
response.
Now.
This
I
is
get
not
to
a
speak
response.
just like you,
This
Ari.
is not a response.
I don't care what you
This
think
is not
it
a
is.
response.
I get my time.
This is no. I'm sorry, Taco. This is a Moni dictatorship, and
Don't
Ari
be a
is the
fucking dictator
co-dictator,
up here.
so
Have
no.
a righteous conversation.
Oh,
Now-
can
now
you
let
then
me
tell
say
us
this.
the
Wait, a
keywords?
righteous,
Let me say this.
a righteous
I agree.
conversation?
Yeah,
I
that's
agree. My
weird.
level of debate has been weak, so I wanted to strengthen it up. And I pulled up congress.gov
No, we don't
because
need
you
anything
said
else.
it doesn't
what,
say
what
pathway.
words are we looking for?
You didn't say it says it doesn't
Yeah,
say
she has it
pathway.
open.
Yeah,
So-
it doesn't
Control
say
F
pathway.
open.
It
So
doesn't say
right on
pathway.
congress.gov in the summary section, it says
I
the
reclaim
bill
my time.
established a path to citizenship. It doesn't say pathway. It says a path.
Well, according to the actual bill, it says earned path to citizenship. W, Justin, but also my Cash App is
Lol.
tripping out, so I owe you guys even more than that. But W's to Sunkiss for the 10 for because education of the inept requires a payment. Yes, so very much. Sunkiss, I love you and I've missed you. Thank you so much.
W Sunkiss.
W's to DJ Bookie. I believe that's you, right? Because I don't want to say your name. DJ Bookie for the $25 for MAGA not realizing how Trump is enriching himself. They absolutely don't care about that. Apparently, they only care about borders and trans people, which is weird. And huge W's to Reina for the $10. Hopefully, this is enough for a trip to Italy. It absolutely is, and more. I hope he enjoys earning his pathway to citizenship to Italy. If that's the same Taco Cat that I think it is, that I've spoken to months and months ago, who used to have the picture of the guy holding the podium, stealing it out of Jan 6, then yeah, and he followed me so he can come back. We love that. Love a fan. Love a fan.
Ooh, he a fan. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thanks for having me up.
I love that.
Thank everybody. Thanks guys for clearing the goal. Also, can we just give applause for his fantastic crash out and because he didn't get to control the flow of conversation because it's not his live and so he thinks he gets to own it while both of us were just laughing in his face. It was great.
I do love laughing at men with you.
I got it. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Alrighty. It's actually not 3 more years. You can't do math. So we do love that. It is the same Taco Cat. I thought it was. He is mostly civil. You can hear where he starts to kind of crash out. Chris, between Sunkiss, Reina, and DJ Bookie, and Justin Swan. By the way, Justin, here you are.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
He needed to go. It was time for him to go. So yeah, I'm just saying. Let's say I want to see in this summary. Let's do. There's not pathway in the summary. Jesus Christ. Just to prove a point. Congress.gov. HR 1177, U.S. citizenship. Holy crap, Andy, thank you so much for the Desert Tiny Arar. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. HR 1177, U.S. Citizenship Act. Summary. Pathway. Oh, oops. Did that go the way you thought? Nope. All right. It's 10:22. I've almost been on for an hour. We are at 70,000 likes. You guys are doing fantastic. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for clearing out the rest of my goal. I also appreciate it. Do not forget, if we get more conversations, you can absolutely send $10 to get rid of somebody you no longer want to listen to. And you can also just contribute to me and continue to pay for my labor as we go through this. Remember, you will see me Monday. Okay, so you will see me today. Hi. Tomorrow, you will see me on Monday, and then I am on vacation until the next week. So you won't see me again until the 13th. So if you want to pay for a bitch's margarita, we can do that. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hey, yeah, my name is Nick, 33. I'm from California, and I don't know who I'm going to be voting for this midterms.
Did you vote for Trump in the 2024 election?
Oh, 2024, yes, I did.
Okay, and well, you already had your primary, so now you're set with dealing with your governor's race between Becerra and Hilton, correct?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't like any of them either. I'm not a big fan
that's
of
fair.
either of them.
That's fair. I would be with you there on that.
Becerra, I feel like he has way too many PACs, too many donors.
Sure.
That he's not going to be looking at Californians.
Sure.
And then Hilton, God, he's Hilton.
Right. That's fair. I feel for you on that decision. As a leftist, I am so tired of the, lesser of two evils option. I get it. I would love to have ranked choice voting. I would like to take money out of politics. That would be something I would love to see.
I wanted to actually get into that question because,
Sure.
I was like a lifelong Democrat, Bernie bro back in 2016.
Sure.
And then, after Biden's presidency, I was just so unhappy to the point for the first time ever, I went right. And I was just like, God damn, I realized oh my God, it got even worse. And so the big thing is what can Democrats do during the midterms and during the next presidential election? What can we do differently and not be not fool each other into, falling into the Democratic establishment? Because let's face it, I have a feeling that our next presidential candidate for the Democratic Party is going to be Gavin Newsom. And
I don't know. Pete Buttigieg might have a good chance, to be honest. And I know John Ossoff has said he's not running, but to be fair, Obama said the same thing in 2008. So who knows?
We'll see. I mean, I'm not a big fan I'm not the biggest fan of Pete either. If you want to ask me personally, I'm more in favor of a Ro Khanna type of guy to represent the Democratic Party.
He loves to stock trade. I'm surprised you would like. I mean, I love Ro Khanna for what he's done with the Epstein files, but he's huge on the stock trading front.
Stock trading is not that big of an issue for me. I think more is about transparency.
Sure, which I would agree we need more transparency. I would just prefer them specifically, if you're going to be in political positions, not be able to trade stocks altogether because they effectuate what happens to those stocks. So
I can understand where you're coming from at that point, but for me, I'm all about transparency and not keeping things secret. Like, for example, on the opposite end of the spectrum of Khanna would be like Pelosi, who does obvious stock trading,
right?
But
yeah, sure,
nothing gets disclosed, and that just tarnishes his reputation. Versus like a Ro Khanna type of guy, he's definitely trade stocks, but everyone knows about it. He's
open about it. He doesn't hide it.
Yeah, and I respect that a lot more, in my opinion.
Sure. So what about Biden's administration had you, I guess, turning away?
So one of the big things was, I guess, I'm more of a centrist, so like border security, that definitely didn't help. Another one is, yes, even though we went through COVID, and COVID definitely didn't help us, the way the economy affected under the Biden administration with the rise of inflation.
Right, but that wasn't because of him. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know if you listen.
I acknowledge COVID for sure. That made a huge impact.
Sure. The biggest critique I have of Biden in way of the economy is when we were starting to come out of it, the metrics were looking good in way of like the stock market and jobs increasing and things like that. However, people were not feeling that every day in their pocket. And he came out on news shows and was like, the economy is doing great. And Trump's making that same mistake now.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, old man, like, shut up. You're not at my dinner table. So I totally understand that. But I don't know if you listened to the last conversation that I had where we were talking about the border, like under the Biden administration, they put forth, was it 6 or 7, Audie? I can never remember, but about 6 bills for immigration reform, and they were struck down by Republicans every time. Even the one that they said they wanted, which to us was 6, thank you, was an enforcement bill. The Langford bill was very much an enforcement bill. Donald Trump called them and told them not to vote on it because he needed to run on it.
Yeah, no, I'm actually huge on immigration reform. My parents came to the country, like, you know, as immigrants.
Sure.
And so my parents are immigrants. So I definitely know that we need immigration reform. My lady's family are, you know, like most of, like, I guess like half of them are undocumented. And so, and mainly due to expired visas and that require reform, you know, and I think, you know, I mean, it's funny, like her dad is actually like what was really inspired by the Reagan model, just make everyone Americans, right? For God's
Just
sake.
amnesty.
Like, yeah,
Right.
that's more my take on it. But you know how I definitely do believe we need immigration reform, Biden.
Sure.
Even though nothing got really done with the Biden administration, and within those 4 years, I feel like a lot of policies that were implemented were not really through Joe Biden himself, and I feel like he was just more of a, I guess you could say, a puppet for his donors and his lobbyists to do whatever he wanted under his face and name.
Like which one specifically? Do you have a specific
so
one?
none that comes to mind right now, but if I can pull it up and send it out later. But there are definitely lots of different, you know, lobbyists and donor groups, especially within the Democratic establishment.
I would agree. Well, every establishment. I mean, Elon Musk literally spent $250 million to talk about something that literally doesn't affect. It only affects about like less than 1% of the population. So we know we know money in politics is an issue. SCOTUS did not help with that with its most recent ruling. But I would just say,
that's very upsetting.
Yeah, very upsetting. It's basically Citizens United 2.0. It's very not happy with that. But I would say under like the Biden administration, I would just say there was just a lot of blockade to legislation that was being put forth by the administration. There was just a lot of blockade happening on the Republican side. Now, I'm not saying Democrats were perfect or that they had perfect bills coming out because no, never. But, you know, it's what they were trying to get done for the country. It's actually funny to me, like Donald Trump is truthing about coming after companies for gasoline price gouging when the Democrats under the Biden administration put a price gouging bill for gasoline specifically on the floor, and the Republicans said absolutely not. Why? Because they're lobbied by big oil.
Right. And actually, it's funny you mentioned the price gouging. I mean, like, I don't know where you live currently. I live in California.
I'm in Colorado.
Colorado. Okay, perfect. But like in California, and again, I'm not the biggest fan of Hilton, but he pointed something out. Pointed something out. Like gasoline, average price of gasoline in California is what, $5.50, $6.
You guys are like higher than the average in the country, yeah.
Way higher, right? I mean, you know, so you know, I mean, that's why I went EV personally, but
yeah,
you know, again, a lot of it has to do with, you know, big oil lobbying, and we need to do something about it. Another thing that we need to do about is, you know, setting term limits to Congress. I mean, we have career politicians like your Pelosi's or Mitch McConnell that have been in power, essentially, you know, at the will of their own, you know, donors and their own.
Well,
and so
here's my thing. Which I'm going to ask you at the end of this, is I just don't see how you vote for Trump or why. But before we get to that, what I would say is that I used to agree on term limits, but I actually disagree on having term limits, but that has to come in with conjunction of pulling money out of politics. Because if the money is not what's getting you elected anymore, that money has gone away, but you are running and people in your area want to continue to vote for you, I think they should be able to. It might be people that I don't like Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell, who who knows if the gates of hell have opened up for him yet? We don't know. He's in the hospital. But they continue to vote him in. Like, if they continue to vote him in, that's on them. That's who the people want. And I think that that's just the people's representation. But again, that has to be connected with pulling that money out. If they can't win without that money, then too bad.
I think the big reason why that I think the bigger reason why I'm all about limiting term limits. Okay,
Sure.
is if you ask the average American, they know who the president is. But if they ask them who their congressional member is, they don't, because they've been in office for so long. They don't even know the name. Now, I know the name of my congressional member. His name is Ami Bera. Right? Okay. Probably now you figured out where exactly in California I live, but it doesn't matter.
I talk about mine all the time. I have Gabe Evans. This is going to be our third race in this district because we are the most newly drawn district in Colorado. We had two Democrats, we had like a representative was kind of put in there. Then we had a Democrat. Now we have Gabe. So like, I get it.
Yeah. See, Bera has been around since I want to say 2012, 2013. And he's your typical donor-taking establishment type of dude that, quite frankly, hasn't really done anything, and is just a panderer. And so the biggest opposition to him right now is a Republican MAGA, like total MAGA
right
member. But again, in the county that we live, that's I hate to say, but good luck, right? You can't. There's no way that member is that
right. It's not competitive for Republicans in that district, right?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like in Northern California. But that being said, he hasn't been primaried because no one really talks about him or anything like that.
Well, but that's the thing. Like that's the thing is that then people need to talk about that, or people need to primary him. We just most recently, I'm sure you might have seen on the news, here in Colorado in District 1, which is like Denver, we've had Diana DeGette, who actually, based off her voting record, Diana DeGette has been one of the most progressive voting members in Congress that Colorado has had. However, she has had that seat for 29 years. And she was just unseated in the race by a self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist candidate, Malat Quiros. So they sit in the seat not only just because of the money, but like you said, yes, the lack of education on your Congress people, but that is an issue with education in this country. And what I've seen is, from a Republican view, they want that on education because they want to be able to stay in their seats. And I would promote that people need to learn about their, congressional candidates and their senators. A lot of people don't even know that, sadly enough. So, I mean, I would just ask you, why did you vote for Trump?
Okay, that's a great question. So, a little background about me is when growing, like, because of how I seen the Biden administration and seeing how, what was happening with inflation, economy, and looking at foreign policy. Foreign policy is actually very important to me due to personal reasons. I feel like things were getting worse to where the point is, at this point, I feel like maybe we have to take, we need to take a gamble, right? A big gamble. And either it's gonna get better one way or another, or it's gonna get worse to the point where we need to make radical changes to our entire American system, the way we look at politics, the way we look at how we vote.
But we saw it. It's not like he was brand new. We saw him in his first 4 years. It wasn't great. I didn't see, and then he didn't want to leave. So I don't see how that was going to be any better a second time around.
Because I feel like with Kamala, that brings me to another thing. With Kamala, they didn't have a primary election. They didn't vote her in.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
How? They didn't have a primary for Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee.
We absolutely did. We had a primary when we voted for Joe Biden, and she was on the ticket. We knew that if anything happened to Joe Biden in any capacity, that Kamala Harris would be the one who took forth. And then after Joe Biden dropped out, which I don't think he should have. I will agree with everybody. I know most people, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Joe Biden lied when he said he was going to be transitory and he should not have run a second time. However, we did hold that primary for him. We voted for that incumbent. The delegates went to that incumbent. But when he dropped out, the delegates had a responsibility, and anybody could have reached out and run an open primary against Kamala Harris. Literally anybody could have came out after he dropped out in July and said, hey, I want to run an open primary against her and try to get these delegates. And they didn't They did not do that. Right. And the DNC needed the candidate's name by the 31st. Biden withdrew on the 21st. Nobody came out to run an open primary. They absolutely could have, and they chose not to. So the delegates, per the rules, go for Kamala.
And that is the fault of the Democrats. If anyone, like, even like, let's say a Bernie Sanders type of guy, right? Let's just say Bernie Sanders. If he truly wanted, like, if he really were to go for a primary against Kamala, he would have won it, and maybe would have won against Trump. It would have won my vote.
Bernie Sanders?
I would say so for sure.
I mean, listen, I love Bernie Sanders. We don't need any more old white men in the office.
I get it, but I'm saying like a Bernie type guy or a progressive, if you will, right?
Sure.
Not someone who's, run deep with the Democratic establishment. And so if we, even within those 10 days, we had a primary, I think anyone would have actually had a better fighting chance against Donald Trump.
I mean, the hard thing is that we'll never know. But I just want to be clear that the process was followed as the process is. If we want to change the process, the DNC would have to change the process. But, they did follow the process.
Right. But and then again, and also another thing about Kamala is she was vice president of Biden, and during his administration, again, we had issues with the economy, issues with foreign policy that, for me, I hold here near and dear, and that to the point where at this point we had to take the biggest gamble that we could think of, and either things are going to get better or it's going to get to the point where we, us Americans, really need to make a radical change to the way we do to our voting policies and how we look into candidates.
Sure, but but what scares me about that is that as a promotion to allow people to be harmed while we wait for a quote unquote revolution of the mind. And so I don't understand that. What key issues in foreign policy, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, for sure. So the biggest one is actually with the Middle East.
Okay.
That's the big one. And then so I know you're probably thinking, I don't have you on video, but you're probably like, what? But hear me out on this. Within the Middle East, right? My family actually came from Iran back in the 80s.
Okay.
They fled the Ayatollahs. I had an uncle who was recently killed in the general protests, including a friend. So the Ayatollahs there are, they are the epitome of evil.
Yeah.
Terrorists.
No, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
On your all right. Now, when back during the Mahsa Amini protests, right? We're going to date this back a little bit more, right? When we had about, I believe, anywhere between, with the regime saying 500, but numbers can be anywhere up to 1,500 Iranians were killed in a matter of about a month of protests, right? Including, young women that were just wanted to show their hair, right?
Sure.
The reaction from the Biden administration was something of Joe Biden presenting a Grammy to an Iranian young man by the name of Shervin Hajipour for just making a song. There was no sense of solidarity with Iranians that wanted freedom from this regime. They wanted absolutely some sort of, whether you could, back then it was either reform or a regime change, whatever. Fast forward to December 2025, when due to the increased sanctions, which to me actually do, as much as I hate it, I do believe that sanctions are the best way to weaken this regime, because unfortunately it does affect the people.
That was, by the way, real quick, that was Jill Biden, not Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, yeah. Did I say Joe? Did I say Joe? I meant Jill.
You might have said Jill and I heard Joe, but I don't see what that would have to do with, would have to do with Biden's administration, let alone Kamala's platform on Iran.
But the point is there was, I'll get to my point. I know it's a long point, but just hear me out. So now we go into January 2026, and in the matter of January 8th and 9th, a matter of approximately 40,000 Iranians were killed in just 2 days.
That number has not been confirmed, but there is somewhere upwards of tens of thousands, sure.
Yes, the regime is claiming 3,000.
And the Iranian singer, it was a protest song. He actually got put in jail for that.
Shervin was put in jail during the Mahsa Amini protests, and he was in house arrest. He's currently serving a house arrest due to pressures within the reformist parties. But he is currently under house arrest. No one knows where he's at right now. including some other rappers. There's one rapper, he's currently on death row. But for the total numbers, we've seen a lot of human rights watch organizations are going anywhere between 43 to 47,000. News agencies like Time, Guardian, Iran International has them anywhere between 30 to 40,000. Amnesty International confirmed the names of 11,000 with 17,000 more to be investigated.
Sure. Then I'll take confirmed numbers versus that. That's fine. But again, are you liking what Donald Trump is doing with Iran right now?
Yes and no, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
So with him actually attacking the regime itself, even though,
you guys for
and
the
I'll be the
100,000
first to admit
likes.
it,
I appreciate it. Keep going,
the United
guys.
States hit a school in Minab that killed 168 children. That was heartbreaking and horrible, right?
They double tapped that school.
Triple tap, actually.
Oh, was
It
it triple? Well,
it was a triple tap, right? It was and that school is next to, and then people say, yeah, that school is next to a military base, all that good stuff. But if we're making a basis off of a school to still allow this regime to operate, then I hate to say, but those children would have died for nothing. Okay, we have to make the basis of this regime in total. And
they're not, but that's not his plan. His plan is not that. That's a nice thought, but that's still hundreds of school children dead. But that's not his plan. His plan. He even just said that he would like to meet the Ayatollah's son. And he thinks that he's a level-headed guy when we know that he is actually more far right than his father was.
His father, Moshtaba, yeah. We Iranians, we call him the cardboard gay Ayatollah. By the way, I don't know if you're,
right. We have a running joke in my community about rainbow Ayatollah House cookies for him. But yes, but that's not a regime change, right? Like Donald Trump is not doing a regime change.
But and one thing I noticed about Trump is, don't listen to what he says. Follow what he's done so far. And so far, yes, he killed Ali Khamenei. And honestly, I was like one of the first ones to celebrate Ali Khamenei's death, including Larijani, Radon, all these like higher up assholes that probably going to be in the pits of hell, waiting for Mitch McConnell, aka Vern from Over the Hedge, soon.
Right.
But that being said, though, I do believe that he's also under a lot of pressure, given that the midterms are coming up, and they're going to. And
he doesn't care. He has said multiple times he doesn't care about the midterms. All I'm seeing actually that he is doing is market manipulation for the stock market and his own stock trades.
That's why again, listen to what he says, don't listen to what he says, but focus on what he does. And with the stock market manipulation, it's just because he knows with the midterms coming up, the basis of, hey, look at where the economy is now because of Trump's stupid war, right? People are going to be voting more left because of that during the midterms. Yep. He knows it. And at this point, he's going to lose the midterms and become a sitting duck president, which will open up a whole treasure chest full of investigations, especially with the Epstein files.
Sure.
So he's gonna be dealing a lot of lawfare within the next 2 years plus.
I will say I hope not. I've said this before, is I really hope that, obviously there's going to be some investigation. There needs to be, because he's been doing, it looks like, corruption and possibly allegedly crime. I would like to see at least one or two, maybe impeachments, but unless the Senate picks up, which I doubt it, there's going to be nothing there. So I would much rather focus on repealing some of the damaging policies he's enacted. I have said that.
Right. But bringing it back to Iran, I think his goal, I do believe that his goal, and he's not saying it out loud, is going to be regime change, because, again, the only way we can be able to, because if once Iran is actually removed of the Ayatollahs, the America, the West, can potentially gain a very valuable asset in the Middle East, just like that Iran was during the 70s. But that being said, though, if he comes out and says, "Oh, we're here to do regime change," it's a very bad taste in American mouths, because we've done that in Iraq and Afghanistan, and look what happened to Afghanistan, for example. Right, the Taliban just came back and took over.
Sure, but what was Kamala's stance on Iran versus Trump's stance on Iran? It wasn't a conversation that came up too often.
Laissez-faire. No worries. It's laissez-faire, hands off, let them do whatever they want. Why do we care? By the way, let's bring back the nuclear deal that gives Iran, that was $8 billion so they can spend their money on Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthi rebels with
I mean,
Iraqi.
they were supposed to have oversight. We know that some of that money did slip through the cracks, but definitely not a majority of it. But have you read the 14-point MOU by chance?
Yes, and oh god, the MOU is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, I was like, what did we get out of that?
And honestly, I think the MOU is a complete joke. I think it was a joke to create some sort of calm and like some sort of like calm before the actual storm. I do think what's going to happen. This is my prediction, and maybe we can get back to this in the next couple months. I can give you a call,
sure,
to see where we're at. But it's going to be at the point where I think that Iran, because ever since the MOU was drafted, Iran has struck Qatar, Bahrain, and the U.S. came back with them other strikes, and this was last week. It's going to probably be at the point where the United States is going to be like, look, Trump's going to be like, I've done everything I can with these guys. These guys will not negotiate with us. You know what? I've had it. We're gonna go balls to the walls, and I think they're getting ready for that because if you if you track naval vessels right now, the USS Boxer is on its way. It's currently off of the Indian Ocean on its way to the Middle East, and that is an amphibious assault ship that carries at least 2,000 Marines in there. So whether or not they're going to go ahead and take Karg Island, for example, which holds 90% of Iran's oil reserves, which will cripple the regime to the point of no return. We'll see. Now, will that mean boots on the ground in Tehran? I highly doubt that. That's not going to work. It's been proven multiple times that does not work. The best way to do it is through economics and forcing the Strait of Hormuz to be open so they can actually have some sort of regime. We can actually have some sort of revolution or regime change inside of Iran.
I mean, what I will say in way of that conversation is which I would appreciate. Thank you so much for being so civil. I have no problem having any conversation with you in the future. What I would say is for MAGA voters, I will quote them and I will say, I guess we'll see, because that's one of their favorite things to say. But on that note, capitalism did get you today, so I am going to drop the call with you. But since you were civil, I don't want just to hang up on you. I want you to have a wonderful day and that we can talk any other day that I'm live that you have time to call.
Absolutely. You have yourself a wonderful day, and God bless you. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you don't have any too many crazies that bug you.
Hey, hopefully not today.
All right. All right. Take care, sweetheart. Have a good one.
Sweetheart, you were doing so good. You were doing so well. Don't sweetheart. No. You were doing so well. Hang up the phone. I'm trying. Also say I get what W's to Kate for the Swan.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
W's to Kate for the Swan. And thank you so much, Trademark, for the $10. You sent this to me before, so I'm guessing it came after, and it was supposed to be for somebody else, and I apologize, I was late on that, but W's to Trademark for the 10, for I just can't anymore. Please, 86, this insufferable man. Your time and labor is worth so much. Let's stop wasting it on someone who refuses to read or learn. I don't think that was that man. It was definitely the man before, but men. It was definitely Taco. Yeah. yeah, Taco be like that. Proud to be a member MAGA. Okay. Well, Alan, that's great for you. Guys, let's do a re-up update while we're sitting here. Thank you so much to the TikTok tappers and chatters for getting me to over 100,000 likes. We're at 131,000 likes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Keep working. We have the little finger hearts if we could start getting those accomplished. If not, it's not that big of a deal. I'm still here. And I appreciate you guys and your support. If you're watching over on YouTube and you haven't hit that thumbs up button while you've been listening to these conversations, what are you doing? So hit that thumbs up button for me. And I see all of my wonderfuls over there on Twitch. Hello. I see that, Surgeon, you were having fun again. I will have to read through that conversation. But it seems like you were having fun over there, like you tend to do. We love to see that. DJ Bookie, I don't know. Listen, what I will tell you. My plan on vacation next week is to have fun with my family. I'm going with my husband, my mother, and my 2 children. We are going to have fun. We're going to go to the zoo. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to have fun. However, it's not as if there are not times where you come home after a day of vacation and you are tired. So I'm bringing my phone. I'm bringing my phone stand. And I am bringing my travel microphone. So if I get bored, maybe you will see me. Maybe. If you're good enough. If you behave. Maybe you'll see me. Maybe I'll get some sun. We would love to see that. And the weather's going to be fabulous. Yay! I'm so excited, Sparky. I'm so excited. I'm not excited to fly. Not excited to fly. All right. Let's get into some news here this morning. Actually get into the outline a little bit while we have the time. Pay by supporting Mia. Pretend it's the never-ending story. Okay. I try to do there was a description somebody said that's like, when you feel turbulence, because we get a lot of turbulence flying towards California because we have to fly over the mountains, right? Not fun. Yay, Colorado. And I try to listen to this video that a pilot said that it's like turbulence with the way how fast the plane is going and the way they're able to get it in the air. It's like jello. So I try to sit there and I'm like, it's jello, it's jello, it's jello. But my husband will be sitting with the kids and I will be sitting with my mom as we just like the whole time, the whole flight. Okay. Let's go. Just put your seatbelt on during the flight. You'll be safe. Yeah, that's how that works, Kayla. U.S. employers still reluctant to add many jobs as hiring slows in June. U.S. employers slowed hiring last month and added only 57,000 jobs, less than half the previous month's total, and a sign companies still have cautious economic outlook. The Labor Department said Thursday that the unemployment rate declined to a low 4.2% from 4.3% in May. Oh, look, the unemployment rate went down by a point percent. Okay. Though the drop mostly occurred because many people out of work gave up looking and were no longer counted as unemployed. That's not good. That sounds bad. Yeah, monster over the mountains. That's the direction that California is in, unfortunately. Ari, thanks. 0.1%. Thank you. The figures suggest businesses remain wary of the economy's health, with inflation at a 3-year high and consumer confidence near post-pandemic lows. The job market has been stuck in a low hire, low fire rut. We talked about that last month with the jobs report there, and ADP's report last month it was the same situation, a low hire, low fire situation because the economy is so unstable right now. Rut, in which the employed enjoy some job security with layoffs low, but those out of work are struggling to get hired. Strong hiring in the spring raised hopes the economy was escaping that dynamic, but Thursday's report suggests job gains are still muted. We are in a market that is still very fragile and still susceptible to shocks happening. Nicole Bacot, labor economist at ZipRecruiter, an online job platform, said there is still a lot of hesitation on the part of employers and workers themselves to make any moves. She noted that other government data shows companies are posting more jobs, but not filling them. So either people are not looking, or also we have a huge issue with ghost jobs as well. Let me update this, and then I want to show you the actual jobs report. Granted, it is easier to digest in a form like the AP. Thank you, Ari, for this as well. It's much more digestible, but we do like to look at the actual report. If TikTok does not start putting these GIFs in order of denomination from lowest to highest, I'm going to crash out by the end of the year. Okay. There, that one. My gosh. Drives me nuts. Okay, so let's go to the actual BLS report because we always like to see it, okay? Employment situation summary. The employment situation for June, remember, it's always reported the month after. Both total non-farm payroll employment, plus 57,000, and the unemployment rate, 4.2%, changed little in June, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. Employment continued to trend up in professional and business services, social assistance and healthcare, leisure, and hospitality lost jobs. I'm not shocked by that. This news release presents statistics from 2 monthly surveys. The Household Survey measures labor force status, including unemployment by demographic characteristics. The Establishment Survey measures non-farm employment hours and earnings by industry. And so you can go through, and it's going to go major worker groups, long-term unemployed, unemployment rate, labor force, and they will tell you what's going on. Total non-farm payroll, employment and professional and business services. So I just, again, always want you guys to be made aware that when I do bring up something, I try to find the primary source as much as I can. Again, AP is going to be more digestible for you to read, but the BLS report is also there. Now, let's go to Fox Business. And I apologize. I apologize, as always, for Maria Bartiromo's voice. She wears a microphone. It's her show, and yet she feels the need to yell. And I'm sure YouTube is now going to go off and say, you yell all the time. And as I say, I'm just, I have projection because of theater. She just yells. So I apologize for the screeching nails on a chalkboard. No, I love her as Crazy Surgeon that you are about to get from Maria Bartiromo, but they are little less than happy. Projecting or projection. Vincent.
All right, we got the number. Cheryl Cashoni on it. Right to you, Cheryl.
We came in underneath expectations. We came in at 50,000 non-farm jobs. The street was looking for.
Yes, Ari, thank you. Somebody else who either did theater or choir. It is called using your diaphragm to speak. And actually, so my daughter is very young. She just did a breathing test. And it was making me laugh because when she does her breathing test, they're like, take a big breath in and blow out. And she's over here like this, because she thinks she's filling in her lungs. So she's going like this to breathe. And if you know anything about theater and choir, you're breathing from down here. You are breathing from your diaphragm. So when I breathe, it's all in my tummy so that you can speak for a really long time and not have to take in a breath. It's really wonderful if you learn how to breathe with your diaphragm, because then you can also sing and go, ooh, with your diaphragm and have a lot of air left in there and keep talking like Jim Carrey in any film that he did in the 90s, pretty much. So, yeah, just learn to breathe from your diaphragm.
110,000. The unemployment rate fell to 4.2%, down from 4.3%, which it had been holding steady at for about 3 months. Looking at a few of the numbers, just to give you a sense here, again, that 57,000 number is for non-farm. Average hourly earnings up 3.5% year over year.
Yes, Queen. We're all theater kids. I have to, Queen. I still have a couple videos from when we did Little Shop. I was not like the lead, but I did get a tiny little solo part. I have shared it on Discord before so that they can make fun of me. I might have to share it again.
June government jobs coming in at 8,000. Remember, we don't get an estimate from that going into this report. Again, those factory jobs, manufacturing jobs, 3,000. And then looking back at a couple of other things here, the underemployment rate, the U6 rate, 7.9%. And then we're also looking at let's see here. Payrolls. Yeah, payroll revisions. I got to give you this revision. May payrolls has just been revised to 129,000. April just got revised to 148,000.
Okay. I want to repeat that. I want you to listen, because that's what we always say. Even on the months where they are celebrating jobs numbers, they get revised down. Now, very rarely do they get revised up. Most of the time they get revised down, and they did.
Payroll revisions. I got to give you this revision. May payrolls has just been revised to 129,000. April just got revised to 148.
So she said May 100. I don't know if she gives us the actual number. Let me go to my 129,000 is what it was revised for in May. Jobs report for May. Non-farm. That's not the one I clicked. Jobs report. Yeah. So, because that was the one they were celebrating. I remember now. May, they touted as adding 172,000 jobs, but as she just said, it was revised down to 129,000.
April just.
Oh, let's go back.
May payrolls has just been revised to 129,000.
That's a crap ton of jobs to be revised down. That's huge.
April just got revised to 148,000. Private sector jobs, that came in at 49,000. The street was looking for 110,000. So again, let me tell you what the government is talking about, exactly where these changes occurred within this report, Marie, and then I will send it back to you in the panel for full reaction. But what they're saying here is that basically we saw trending up employment stories in professional.
Old enough to know better, you said a whole lot of commies about to be arrested for what? You have to be charged with a crime.
Business services, social assistance, healthcare, leisure, and leisure and hospitality lost jobs. So we saw.
Well, yeah, no, you said, Zanthi, you're saying that Biden posted millions and revised down to 120,000. Do you have a source for that?
Increase in healthcare, increase in social assistance, increase in professional business services, but we saw a fall in leisure and hospitality. That is the kind of the top line there. Labor force participation rate, that actually fell by 0.3% to 61.5%, and that's something that Mohamed El-Erian was talking about. It was at 61.8%, Maria. So again, different story than the other reports that we got, frankly, for March and for April and for the month of May. But again, lower numbers, and there's the market for you on your screen, Maria.
Well, look at this market reaction. We are at the highs of the morning right now after these job numbers. The Dow Industrial's up 152, the NASDAQ up 134. This feels like a Goldilocks story once again, Steve Moore.
Well, just looking at some of the other numbers, and look, I mean, I'm a little disappointed in this, frankly. And then if you look at the household survey, it showed a 500,000 fewer Americans working. So I'm a little puzzled by this. Look, this.
You're fine, Vincent. I don't understand Maria Bartiromo. I mean, I do. She's a Trump tank glazer. That's her job. So what's vellum? Do I want to know what that is? Vellum. There's no context to this? Oh, what is this? Oh. Or soft palate, the flexible muscular tissue at the back of the roof of your mouth that is crucial for speech, articulation, breathing, and swallowing as it raises and lowers to seal off the nasal cavity from the oral cavity. Oh, you asked a pro-lifer where it is? I love that. Where's that soft part? Right, you can feel in the back of my throat.
This is an economy that really has been on fire.
Except for today. He said he was disappointed. Maria Bartiromo was like, it's a Goldilocks story. I don't know where they're getting that from. Okay. Also, in way of breaking news here. Breaking news. Remember that we talked about the U.S. Postal Service, the Postmaster General, talked about proposing a rule on restricting mail-in ballots to states that didn't cooperate with them on releasing their voter rolls. And they were sued for that. Okay? Why don't you know what? We're just gonna. And they were sued for that. Now the court said, hey, you haven't actually proposed I don't know who it is, and so I'm like done with it. A court said you have not actually, the USPS has not actually proposed this rule yet. They're just kind of like talking about it. And so you have no standing to sue yet because it's not an actually proposed rule. Well, I said we will probably be back when they do it, and here we are and we're back. Postal Service's proposed restrictions on mail-in voting blocked. A federal judge has halted the U.S. Postal Service proposed changes to its mail-in ballot delivery procedures, dealing another blow to President Trump's effort to restrict the practice he has long criticized. But what they should have added, but always used. Postmaster General David Steiner confirmed last week the service would not deliver mail-in ballots in states that refused to hand over sensitive voter data to the Trump administration, telling lawmakers it was meant to ensure the right ballots are going to the right people. District Judge Emmett Sullivan on Wednesday sided with the NAACP's argument that the proposal violates a December 2021 settlement agreement that required the Postal Service to prioritize monitoring and timely delivery of election mail through the 2028 elections. The proposed changes were in line with a March executive order directing the service to propose a final rule by August 3rd that requires states to compile a list of eligible voters at least 60 days before any federal election and prohibit mail-in or absentee ballots from being sent to anyone not on these lists. Sullivan, an appointee of former President Clinton, wrote in a 19-page opinion that Trump's order was designed to exert federal control over who in the United States may be sent a mail-in or absentee ballot in federal elections by the Postal Service. How do I sue these student loans trying to take my grocery and gas money? Actually, I think there was just a ruling, B. There was just a ruling on some of his, against him, on some of his student loan reform that I read about this morning. Yeah, Vincent knew they lost a lot of the student loan information if they go, you protect, like, well, but they literally just lost a fucking case. Hold on. Sidebar. Judge blocks student loan reform, Trump admin. Let's see, I just saw it. Judges strike down Trump administration student loan forgiveness overhaul. this was. 2 federal judges on Tuesday blocked the Trump administration from implementing new restrictions on a student loan forgiveness program that would have barred public service workers from receiving debt relief if their employers are deemed to have substantial illegal purpose. The rulings issued by Biden-appointed judges in Massachusetts and Washington, D.C. came just one day before the new eligibility rules were set to take effect. The Trump administration had sought to add new rules to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness, PSLF, program as part of its targeted overhaul of government programs that do not align with the administration's priorities. So, you know, doing good things. Okay. But again, losing in court. Court is slow, but that is where it's happening. That's what we are doing. Okay. Moving on. Where do I want to go? What was my original plan before I had all these callers with my 12 pages of shite? Okay, let's go here, I guess. So, we talked about the SCOTUS ruling on asylum. Now, as Nick Knack pointed out, was it yesterday? No, the day before that. As Nick Knack pointed out, you can absolutely disagree with SCOTUS decisions, but you have to follow them, even if we don't like them, right? So here we are, talking about the fact that they ruled on asylum. And I said I just have a different outlook. I'm not saying it's good. What they instituted with asylum is metering, right? This allows CBP agents on the U.S. side of the border to have people who are on the Mexican side of the border trying to claim asylum, that they can deny them access, right? We can go from, let's say we have a 1,000 a day limit of asylum seekers coming in through the border from Mexico. We can now limit that to 10 or 0. And we can then say that nobody can cross in and apply for asylum from the Mexican side of the border. That is what SCOTUS ruled, unfortunately. However, the take that I have is all that they have done is now encouraged and incentivized people to come across illegally, to come through non-ports of entry and still be able to claim asylum, because that is the fucking law. No, metering is bullshit, and today that kind of sort of was used since Obama, which makes it standard as BS. Yeah, but they are now kind of incentivized to use non-ports of entry, which is still legal per 8 U.S.C. 1158. But apparently Stephen Miller had a gross misunderstanding of what that meant, because this was his statement after that ruling came out. I know it wasn't okaying metering. The current opinion suggested metering, but it opens the pathway for them to do it, and we know that. But he has a gross misunderstanding of what that means.
Well, I think the most important point is that this administration...
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Always. You and me, we're sticklers for context information.
Well, I think the most important point is that this administration, on the asylum point, is we've implemented international agreements all over the world to take in our asylum seekers. So America's doors are closed fully to asylum seekers. We've set up agreements.
What? Our doors are closed fully to asylum seekers? That's not what that SCOTUS ruling said at all.
Agreements where if you want asylum, then we will find a country elsewhere in the world to take you.
I don't know why the clip put up a refugee status in way of South Africans, because refugee status is going to be completely different than asylum, but no.
It's very simple, very elegant, very complete solution. Now, of course, as you know, you've heard me talk about here many times before, all asylum claims across the southwest border are always...
So he has a complete misunderstanding of what that said, because they can still come in and do it. So let's get into, yes, this one shows it. Stephen Miller is disgusting. If you don't know about this human polyp, he is absolutely disgusting. He wanted to say, I remember that clip, Chris. We played that clip, and I replayed that clip multiple times, where he definitely Freudian slipped there, and which is crazy because of where his family is from. But we're going to be calling out the fact that the racism is getting more racism-y as the day goes by. So he's going to talk about assimilation. Abby Phillip is going to call him out on that. My gosh, my Cash App notifications are so slow. Those came in a while ago. But yeah, he's going to talk about assimilation. Abby Phillip is going to call out those comments of assimilation from somebody who came from a Jewish family. We're going to get to that, Ari. I promise. We are going to get to that. I'm going to get to pregnant women. That's what I didn't get to yesterday, but we're going to get through asylum first and assimilation.
It's simply not the case. It has never been the case. To go back to the Haiti example, that you can just take 3 million people from a failed island, put them into America, and overnight that they are able to become fully successful, fully assimilated American citizens. That defies everything we know about how culture works, how assimilation works.
I just keep wondering what assimilation means to them, because you can absolutely have your own culture and still provide benefit to this nation and have assimilation, as long as you are functioning. Really, assimilation in this country is working in the capitalist system. As long as they're doing that, you're assimilated, in my view.
How nations work.
So, Amanda, I find it extremely rich for someone like Stephen Miller to say that, especially since his own ancestors, who were Jewish, who fled persecution, came to this country, and were thought at the time to not be capable of assimilation, were thought at the time to not be compatible with American society. And they came here and they assimilated. And now he's in the...
And, yeah, I thought I put this stuff on here, actually. I think I did. I think I went pretty deep. Because you know me. Okay, so this is Holocaust Encyclopedia, okay? A resource, a .org, a resource on that. Refugee crisis. Immigrating to the United States, a difficult process. Between 1939 and 1941, more than 300,000 people born in Germany joined waiting lists for immigration visas to the United States. Most of these people were Jewish. In 1939, for the first time since the Nazis rose to power, the State Department issued the maximum number of visas legally allowed under the German quota. At U.S. embassies and consulates throughout Europe, waiting lists for U.S. visas also grew, and wait times were estimated to be years long. Most potential immigrants in the United States had to collect many different documents in order to obtain a U.S. immigration visa to leave Germany, as well as to travel to a port of departure within Europe. They could use their time on the waiting list to gather all the necessary documents needed to obtain a visa, which included identity paperwork. Potential immigrants in the United States also had to find an American sponsor who had sufficient financial resources and would guarantee that the newly arrived immigrant would not become a public charge, a financial burden on the government. The potential immigrants also had to secure a valid ticket on a transatlantic ship. However, once World War II began, many passenger lines reduced the number of vessels crossing the ocean or even stopped traveling entirely, making it more difficult and expensive for refugees to find berths. Let's see. I was like, we worked on doing this, but the problem is that if you know anything about history, there was a lot of fight. The United States remained neutral during the first 2 years of World War II, from September 1939, when Nazi Germany invaded Poland, to December 1941, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Let's see, campaigned on that. Ooh, that same month, a group of college students at Yale founded the America First Committee. Here we go. All right, Stephen Miller. This is your history. This is your family's history. Are we ready? America First, MAGA, forever. That same month, a group of college students at Yale founded the America First Committee, AFC, which rallied Americans against the war. The AFC, with some 800,000 members and at least 450 local chapters, encouraged civic engagement, such as letter-writing campaigns to elected officials, and sponsored rallies and speeches throughout the country. In the fall of 1941, one of the AFC's main spokesmen, famed aviator and anti-Semite Charles Lindbergh, gave a speech blaming Jewish people and the Roosevelt administration for drawing the country closer to war. Critics claimed Lindbergh's remarks promoted anti-Semitism, intolerance, and even bolstered claims made by Nazi propagandists. But yeah, assimilation. Right, Stephen Miller? Assimilation. Cool. So let's get a small clip of view of the Lindbergh and Ford. Let's get a small view. Madison Square Garden. If you know, you know. This is a small, tiny little clip, but it is about, it's from PBS NewsHour, talking about Haitian employees and how they are a benefit in work.
It started slowly. We had an application pool that was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded axle components.
Jamie McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Metal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's That's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
Oh, so it sounds like, and this is not I don't have other videos. I've found them as I've been, scrolling the internet of other people talking about, I think even Ohio's governor came out and was like, no, they're such a benefit to our community. If I remember correctly, I believe it was Ohio's governor. What are we doing? We're just being racist? It sounds like we're just being racist. Okay. So let's go to this interaction with Markwayne Babyback Bitch McMullins in front of Congress, okay? I showed you the one clip I had. It was like 2 minutes long of him going against Underwood. But she's going to ask him a very significant question, which is about the deaths. We talked about it, right? We talked about it, where he tried to compare the deaths in custody to how high they are in like state institutions, public institutions. And we said that's both bad. That's both bad. Do something about that. So she's going to ask him if you have any goals to reduce deaths, because any death, Markwayne Babyback Mitch McMullins is the one who keeps saying that one death of an American citizen by an illegal immigrant is one too many. I would agree. I would also agree that my tax dollars being used to detain these people and then having death, one is also one too many, and yet it is way more than that. We are about, I believe it's upwards of 40 or 50 this last year. So, do you have a goal to reduce deaths in DHS facilities?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
Secretary Mullen, does DHS have any specific internal document, policies, or goals to reduce deaths in custody?
And we do a wonderful job on providing
yes
medical
or no question,
to.
sir.
We're doing a wonderful job at it. We have
Is it
0.
Thank
That was the answer. Not, yes, we have a goal, or any death in custody is tragic, that these people should not die in our custody while they await their due process. No, that was not the answer. Of course not. Why would that be the answer? The answer was that we're doing a wonderful job. Don't question me. McMullins was interrupting. And as we've talked about many times before, Congress and congressional hearings, the time is theirs. The time is for the people who work in Congress. Now, that means that they can ask you a question and immediately start talking again and not give you an opportunity to answer it. Whether that's fair or unfair, not my business. That's just the way it works. They are given a set allotted amount of time, and that is the time that they can use however they see fit. Apparently, just like Pam Bondi, he must have learned it from her, McMullins does not realize, yes, his actual name is Mullins, I'm very much aware, but he is Babyback Bitch McMullins to me. Mullins doesn't understand that and is going to keep yelling, so much so that the chairman has to reprimand him. And now, if you know anything about how majority works in Congress, if you have the majority, as the Republicans do in both the House and the Senate, all committees are chaired by a member of the GOP. So he has to get called out by his own people for, hey, act like an adult, stop interrupting. But if you remember anything about him, he tried to fight the fucking union leader, the Teamster in charge of the unions, and Bernie Sanders had to say, hey, you're a sitting member of Congress. Chill.
I guess this is a good place to stop. We are trying to keep members to 8 minutes. Mr. Secretary, you know that too. That's fine. So we all know how the clock runs here. The idea is to get together to forward questions. I'm going to have you repeat your question when we start up again.
Thank you.
But I can tell you this, if this format...
I didn't get the flag until now, for visibility restriction until now.
That won't work, then we'll reschedule the meeting for later.
I know what it is. It's because I called him a name. I'm sorry, TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Markwayne Mullins. I'll be nice.
When we can keep it to all the issues accordingly. So this is the efficient way to do it, but if we can't do it the efficient way, then we'll go to Plan B, which will not be today. And I don't mean that as a threat to anybody. I'm just saying this is not Meet the Press or Fox News or whatever for anybody involved. It's what's the question, what's the answer? Mr. Secretary, if you need more time to respond to that, the committee will make any of your comments part of the record, and we will endeavor to make sure that you get to meet with whoever wants more time. But
in Pig Latin. How do you say it? I'd have to see it phonetically written out to say it in Pig Latin, Eli. And yeah, Vincent, it says, we love the TikTok shop. I will itch bay. I know that. But I want to say baby. Oh, I guess I could say baby back itch bay.
But while we've got the whole committee sitting here, we're not going to do the XYZ debate, whatever the heck. So, ma'am, please repeat your question. And as near as I can figure, you got about 4 minutes left.
Oh, PB. Did you see my face? You see how it took me a minute? I was like Pabst Blue Ribbon. What are we talking about here? I got it. We're fine. And then we get into Deloro. Deloro loves to come at people. That's just kind of her brand. I know that YouTube's probably going to go off because of what she looks like. She loves her purple hair dye. I have to redo my pink before I leave. And talking about the fact that, again, he has to get called out. He has to get called out to answer her questions and not interrupt her time. Just play my song. I need to pin it so that I can get to it. Is that one in mine, Eli? I don't know if that one was posted in mine. I might have to look in the other chat.
We didn't shut them down. You shut them down.
Answer my question.
I did.
What are you doing? Why are you moving?
Ma'am, I answered your question. You were the one that shut them down. The Democrats shut down. How many times did you vote to shut them down?
Why? You know, these people come to us to get funding for the work that they do, and we.
I'm actually factory collect.
No, Eli has the. I think Eli has the song. I think, unless Blue posted himself. Oh God. Okay, Blue posted himself. Listen, it's been a long week. It's been a very long week. I'm trying to watch The American Experiment on Netflix. It's not as good as Ken Burns' documentary on PBS about the American Revolution, but it's all right. It's all right. If you need an introduction, watch it. So I was up real late. We were on the phone with Mia until like 2 in the morning playing Hexatiles. Okay. It's been tough. I'm trying here, okay? I'll spoil if the experiment fails. Stop. I will say the one thing I've learned is that YouTube and MAGA specifically need to come up with better insults than just calling me a S-lut and a W whore. They need to do better because the sass and pettiness with which the founders used to write shit. Please do better. Just do better. There's so many words in the English language you can use. Just do better. Hi, Law.
Factually correct. You voted to shut them down. Republicans voted to open them over and over and over again. Your vote clearly stated that you voted to shut us down. It wasn't until it became popular. And then, by the way, ICE agents came there and helped bring the lines down. The same people that you also kept shut down for 150 days. I'm answering the question.
No, you
I thought you said you answered it. The floor is hers.
My dear.
Actually, I gave it to her. You know, there is a chairman of a committee. That's me. I gave it back to her.
You know it's bad when you're pissing off the chairman. I just want to say, they don't usually act like that. RTB should watch on a Discord. Yeah. No, you're fucking up if you're pissing off the chairman.
She's got it.
Something about who these folks are. And
you have
everybody
another
on
question,
this
Madam
panel.
Ranking Member?
Well, yeah, no, I do, but I didn't get an answer to a question.
So the record will...
It did. I didn't notice. He got really mad. The highlighter.
I thought you said you answered it. The floor is hers.
My dear.
Actually, I gave it to her. You know, there is a chairman of a committee. That's me. I gave it back to her. She's got it.
I didn't notice who these folks are. And everybody
you have another
on
question,
this
Madam
panel.
Ranking Member?
Well, yeah, no, I do, but I didn't get an answer to a question.
So the record will so reflect.
Thank
Please
you.
ask your next question.
Okay, and I will.
It's her time. It's her time. Thank you. Thank you, Blue. Thank you. It's in. That means it's in my jams. It's in my jams section. I just have to go pin it. That's what that means.
Use a baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Use a baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Use a baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Barbecue sauce. Use a baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Use a baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Barbecue sauce.
Guys, W's to Blue for recording that and sharing it with everybody. We love it so much. I'm looking for the song. I did. Oh. They're in there. There's not a good organization system in there. Why does it soothe my soul? Because it's blue. Because it's blue. All right. So then Trump went off truthing about Obama's deportation numbers. I don't know where he's getting this information from. Just, as always. For all of those who like to say that Barack Hussein Obama and his vice president, Sleepy Joe Biden, did as many criminal ICE removals as President Trump, the figures are just in. Number one, they included hundreds of thousands of people that never came close to getting into our country. Where's he getting that from? Because that would not be included in ICE numbers. A difference of perhaps 50% in the numbers. We don't include such categories, but even if we did, ICE and CBP removed many more illegal aliens under President Trump than under Obama. Not true. It's not even close. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Again, he just says things. He just says things. AI Overview said Trump was a godlike figure, and what were they citing? What were they citing, Jimmy? What was AI Overview citing? I know. We need Clippy. Clippy needs to come back. Clippy needs to come back. It's actually true they started counting turnaways as deportations during Obama. Okay, that's fair. I would say it's unfair to count them, but I mean, I guess. I wonder why you wouldn't count that as inadmissibles, though. I know you meant expulsions, but I read explosions. Expulsions are included in the overall term deportation numbers. Okay, that makes sense then. They're counted both ways. Oh, okay. So why is he crying? Are we shocked? No. But he's crying. Okay. So then here's his truth on detention. Because, he just be truthin'. It was just announced that, and I'm not necessarily thrilled to be talking about it because it does not exactly sound nice. The Trump administration has the highest average daily arrest rate by ICE and CBP, including total detention, with final orders of removal, than any other president by far. The pending final orders are being seriously delayed by the courts, but that is also a record. President Trump has the... Stop talking about yourself in the third person. President Trump has the highest 12-month removal total by far of any president, despite the fact that they fudge their numbers by including people that never even tried to come into the country. Likewise, the average daily catch and repatriation is by far the highest under President Trump. No other president comes close. So when you hear these anchors, pundits, Democrats, and communists try to make the case that President Obama's numbers are comparable to President Trump, it would be nice if people like Milquetoast Shannon Bream and others would put up a little fight. Just a little. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Obama's numbers on interior deportations were because of jail records being standardized, actual criminals being deported, not homes being warrantlessly entered. Right. I mean, really, it was to point out the fact that, Obama lives rent-free in this man's head. It is funny to me that you guys come on here and you're like, all you ever talk about is Trump, as if he's not the literal president of the United States. And the reason we talked about him under Biden was because he was the head of the Republican Party at the time. But his obsession is an issue. But this I got from, is it going to let me read it without being rude? It looks like it. Okay. This was April 14th, 2026 from Axios. They're saying, again, it's April. But ICE deported 442,000 people in fiscal year 2025. The top U.S. Immigration Enforcement Agency deported 442,637 people between October 2024 and September 2025. That would be the fiscal year, according to newly released statistics. The top line figure is about 171,000 people more than the fiscal year before, but far short of Trump's campaign promise to deport 1 million people a year. The figure is the first official deportation statistic released under the Trump administration and was included in a congressional budget justification report. The Office of Homeland Security Statistics hasn't updated its data since November of 2024. We've talked about that. Homeland Security's much-hyped self-deportation figure is not included in the report. The agency has claimed in press releases that more than 2 million have self-deported but hasn't shared regular data, which is what we keep telling you because you guys keep citing press releases. I don't work off of press releases. I know damn sure the people that I love in here in my community who also talk about these things do not use press release data. I would not use it under Trump. I would not use it under Biden. I would not use it under Obama or Bush. I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them. Sam, I am. So when you can give me the actual report data on these self-deportation numbers, I would love to see them. So, you know, press releases are gap. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, let me update this and we'll go to the next section. Again, just more, thank you so much, Shauna. Hi. Just more proof that their giant mass deportation immigration policy is not something that's going the way. I was wondering if you were going to Seuss it up. Did you hear me? Oh, look at me. I'm the press release now. Look at me. It's bullshit. Their entire thing is bullshit. It's not working out the way they want. This is from June of this year. Federal officials plan to offload some warehouses purchased for immigrant detention. Now, why would you do that if you were having such a banner year for immigration? They get their numbers from monthly postcard returns from the U.S. Census Bureau, shockingly. Wow. So they're doing like CIS shit. They're like, but the census says. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is retreating from a plan to use warehouses to hold up to 10,000 people in a single site, jettisoning a key piece of former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's $38 billion plan to rapidly expand detention this year. Migrants counted in 2020 are reluctant to return postcards under this administration. Yeah, are we shocked? No. The federal government, which was sued by Michigan and a Detroit suburb, informed a judge Monday that a warehouse purchased in Romulus will be sold. Plans also are unraveling in Social Circle, Georgia, and the El Paso suburb of Socorro, local officials said. The three cities are among 11 where the federal government spent a combined $1.074 billion on warehouses, and it goes into their reporting and how they found out about that. But they are offloading. So apparently they don't need as much space as they claimed. Maybe the issue wasn't as bad as he touted it, and maybe he just fear-mongered you. Maybe that. So now we move to another SCOTUS decision, which we talked about. So we're not going to talk about the decision itself, but we are going to talk about the fact that they ruled that, and we talked about this, that TPS status is not up for any kind of judicial review. It is solely under the power and control and this is a generalization, but total under the complete control of the executive branch, right? Now, we have said multiple times that I think the executive branch has way too much power in regards to immigration, and that would have to be changed. But until we change that, it is what it is. So, TPS status was removed for Haitians and for Syrians. Now, Jake Tapper, when are you going to write your new book on Trump, Jake Tapper? But Jake Tapper is asking Itchbay McMullins about the do not travel advisory that the government had, unless a constitutional issue is raised, its procedure is not reviewable. Okay. He's asking him about the travel advisory. There is a travel advisory for do not travel to Haiti. And he's just going to say, but that's not for the American, or that's not for the Haitians. That's just for Americans. Don't know why that makes a difference.
And I just looked at the State Department's website, and they have a level 4 do not travel advisory for Haiti just from a few months ago, from April, and it says, quote, violent crime is rampant. The expansion of gang, organized crime, and terrorist activity has led to widespread violence. Crimes involving firearms are common.
Oh, did Ruben comment? I didn't even see it. Hi, Ruben. Bye, Ruben. I didn't even see it.
Crimes include robbery, carjacking, sexual assault, and kidnappings for ransom.
Because they can go back to their own country. Kurt, if we can't travel there, why would they be able to travel there safely?
That doesn't sound safe to me.
Well, that do not travel is not for Haitians. That's do not travel for the United States, because they are kidnapping or trying to kidnap individuals from the United States because they feel like their family has the money to pay the ransom. We have
You don't think that they are extorting their own people, let alone the Americans that may travel there? No? What did I do? Oh, Ruben just likes to say things. Oh, God.
we have do not travel in places.
TPS is explicitly for not putting people into dangerous situations. Right. I don't understand
in Mexico, or advisory warnings. In fact, if you go through our website in the State Department, you'll see there's advisories to a lot of places that are vacation destinations that we have advisories on because of the real risk to Americans. That doesn't mean it's a risk to the individuals that live there. So that isn't that.
Based off of what information does he have for that?
Advisory is to American citizens traveling to Haiti, not Haitians going back home.
I understand that, but based on everything I've read, including the UN and Human Rights Watch, it doesn't sound safe for Haitians. More than 8,100 killings documented last year. Those weren't Americans. Haiti is among the top 5 countries with the highest
At least Jake Tapper brought his sources.
rates of rape and sexual abuse, with more than 1,200 cases of sexual violence last year. That's not Americans. 1.4 million people have been displaced. Those aren't Americans.
I wish the clip included his answer. I have to find that. Are you going to send some over, Vincent, or are you just going to keep telling me the process and make me hungry? Like, is that what we're doing? That's what we're doing now? Okay, I got it. So this was JD Vance on Bill Maher. Now, I absolutely cannot fucking stand Bill Maher, and I want to be clear on that. I cannot. You are? Okay, cool. I cannot stand Bill Maher. However, JD Vance is going to make a comment. Well, let's just see what you think about it, I guess.
You guys went too far. You went too far, and you should own it like you did childless cat ladies.
Okay. So here's the basic problem with that, Bill, is...
What's the opposite of childless? Is it childful? Am I a childful cat lady? Is that? I'm just wondering.
You cannot do any deportations without law enforcement, and you can't do a law enforcement operation like that without having some situations that don't look good when they're recorded like that. I mean,
don't look good. I was on Tapper during the Preddy news cycle. He's what you would expect. Yeah. You murdered 2 people on camera. You murdered 2 people on camera. A few others outside of the view of a camera. So we can't do enforcement because we have a bad clip? You mean the United States government with my taxpayer funding killing U.S. citizens? You mean that?
let me give you like just one obvious example. Let's just set aside the immigration element of this, okay? If you take a guy who's committed murder and you go in and arrest...
Yeah, Thrill House, immigrants murder too, just like U.S. citizens murder at a higher rate per capita, but I don't pay them to do that. I pay for this. This is my tax money that paid for that.
That guy. Sometimes that person's going to resist arrest. Sometimes if you take a video of it and it's out of context and you don't appreciate why that person is being arrested in the first place, it looks pretty icky if you take that out of context video clip. And what I worry about is when people...
It's not out of context. You guys barging in without a warrant and trying to say that administrative warrants are the same as judicial warrants when they absolutely the fuck are not. And the fact that you removed the training portion of that from your website because I had it on here. We fucking read it. There is a training portion for DHS of the difference between administrative warrants and the difference between judicial warrants. And guess what? We read it, and then a week later, it was gone. Gone. And they tried to remove it. We watched you escort a man out of his house without a judicial warrant. You know how I know? Because you had to let him go. We watched it. This is not an out-of-context clip. We follow the stories. And remember that this is J.D. Vance, the person who said that Haitians are eating cats and dogs, which was untrue, and also said that he is not above making stories, making up stories. He said that on TV. He is not above making up stories for a certain agenda.
Say you can't ever do immigration enforcement if it produces a bad video clip. What they're really saying is you can't ever actually do immigration enforcement. It's
not what anybody's saying. We're saying don't do it masked the fuck up. Don't do it by roaming our cities without judicial warrants. Don't do that.
12 million people come into the country, into the interior over the last 4 years.
Again, source.
Or I should say from 2021 to 2025.
Source.
And we were elected with a mandate to get some of those people out of the United States of America. You can't do that easily. Law enforcement deporting...
Yeah, law. Just, follow the Constitution. And again, as somebody who is sitting here and I have watched Ken Burns' documentary that he worked really, really hard on the Revolutionary War, I need to do the Civil War. I don't think I've ever watched that one. And I am watching currently the one being done by, I believe it's Brian Knappenberger on Netflix called The American Experiment. The Constitution is just kind of near and dear to my heart.
People is never an easy process. So I appreciate your argument that we've gone too far, but we couldn't do nothing. And I don't think there was an easy way to do this.
Of course. There's a middle ground. See, the other thing that bothers us about stuff like that is that nothing ever lands in the middle, which is what I'm always trying to get people to do.
I thought you were crazy liberal.
Have you met Bill Maher? Have you met Bill Maher? He's not a liberal.
But you don't watch the show.
Yeah,
you should watch the show.
I actually do watch the show. I laughed my ass off backstage. That was a good monologue. Even though you were making fun of me, I kind of liked it.
Yeah. It was fair. Yeah. I know someone in your administration who watches the show.
Whatever, Bill Maher. That was just men being men. Thank you, Blue. Yeah, we're gonna play that.
The American media.
No, stop playing. Fix volume. Full screen. Thank you so much.
The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to,
but it wasn't just a meme,
create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
I have to create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because
So he'll lie. Cool. Glad we got that squared. You guys forget that? You guys forgot that. You guys forgot about that. Okay. Now, let's get into some of the breakdown of the birthright citizenship shit. Now, I talked enough about it on the day when we actually got the case. Talked enough about it. But let's talk about their reactions and now their claims. Again, baby back Itchbay McMullins, I'm going to try and put that into my vocabulary now, is going to make a claim that I would like to see where that is supported.
If you're born here and your parents are illegal, he didn't want you to be a citizen.
By the way, guys, real quick, W's to you guys for hitting over 200,000 likes. I'm so sorry I did not notice until right now. You are at 211,000 likes. Thank you guys so much. I have about 20 minutes left. Hulk Law angry. Yes. I'm sure you've seen their reactions. It's giving family separation DNA at the border, and it's really gross. It's giving Tuskegee. It's giving sterilization of the indigenous and Black women. There's a lot of PTSD of horrible acts throughout our history that are happening because of the shit that they are saying. But thank you guys so much. We have about 20 minutes left, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done to support me today, lighting up my gift gallery, completing my goal, and then some, and then a lot, and completing out our TAP goals. Thank you.
If you're born here and your parents are illegal, he didn't want you to be a citizen, but the Supreme Court upheld that.
Well, I think the president was spot on this, and the court is absolutely dead wrong on this situation.
Jimmy, did you just say I'm pre-recorded? I literally spoke to you. How is it pre-recorded if I was just talking to you? What? Like Bruh just said, she reads our comments live. I just did.
If you look at the reason for the 14th Amendment, again, this
We're just right here, Law. We're just right here.
is way outside what has happened, especially with China and their tourist visas that they get to come into the United States or into our territories just simply to give birth. They'll come in the 8th month, maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks left, give birth here.
By the way, you can't fly. You can't fly with that little bit of time left. You're not supposed to. Like, there's not really a restriction, but, like, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But also, where's the source on that? Can I get a source that there is a vast majority of Chinese women coming in on tourist visas with, like, 3 weeks left in their pregnancy and having babies here? Can I get a source on that? No? No? I can't. Okay.
Have a child, then they move back.
Congress could actually restrict that by law constitutionally. Yeah. That's the scary part.
Back to China, raise a person underneath a communist regime, even though they're a citizen of the United States, and they come back over here. And in some cases, we see that they go to their universities, they're stealing intellectual property, and it's absolutely been a national security issue. This is truly a national security risk.
Jacob, are you okay? Jacob, are you all right?
that we're having. But we're re-looking at it. We had a long conversation with the White House yesterday, a long conversation with the president, Tom Homan.
If you get one past the goalie, you get the point. I have 2 kids to remember, right? Me too.
Stephen Miller, all of us together are working and saying, okay, how can we protect America and still at the same time, unfortunately, figure out how to work with the court in this situation?
And what
Yeah, I thought so, Z-Spark. I thought I read something about that like China's government is putting forth incentives because of the low birth rate in China. I don't see why they would want to have them sent here. That's not going to benefit them. So then Stephen Miller is talking to Jesse Waters, and he's going to say that we're going to have a hard look at pregnant women coming into our country.
Come here for a little bit and then go home. But if you have birthright citizenship, it means if a person comes here 9 months pregnant to go look around at some things.
You can't fly 9 months pregnant. You're not supposed to. You're not a good mother, apparently, if you're doing that. And yeah, no.
In a couple of weeks, that is the mother.
But Rob, I need you to stop talking to Ari. I need you to stop.
Of a lifetime American citizen and a direct line into American cash and welfare for the rest of that child's life. Right? So you have to.
By the way, his family not from here. His family not from here. Just a reminder in case we forgot from 15 minutes ago. His family not from here.
Are we banning pregnant women from America? Are we banning foreign pregnant women?
Well, what I'm saying, Jesse, is that you have to now think very carefully about who you let into your country, even on a temporary basis, because the possibility, as you said, for birth tourism, right? They did the
Again, as I stated the day of birthright citizenship decision, I would call the colonization or settlement, I don't know why he's yelling, but the settlement of this nation, the biggest scam of birth tourism I've ever seen. And now those people's nasty, ass unwashed, gangly, llama-looking hair, alpaca ass, don't wash their hands, got dirt under their fingernails, don't do leg day, skip fucking leg day, use GAC for testosterone-looking ass ancestors, are trying to claim that they have some right to this country now.
people come here just to have babies on American soil, and that baby gets to be a citizen for life. So you have mothers that come in fully pregnant, have a baby, go home, and again, that baby gets Medicaid, and that baby gets...
Chris, there was reporting that there were Russian women staying in Trump's hotels and having babies here. I don't know the legitimacy of those claims, but there were claims being made to that effect. Appeal to emotion, no data detected. Right. And like Sherry, like you're asking, are we going to start requiring pregnancy tests to enter the country? Unless like law said it's put in there congressionally, I don't know how they do that without it being some sort of violation. I don't know how they get away with that. And again, are you doing a pee test or are you doing a blood test? Because then that's going to be even more in way of like violation and interference.
Welfare, and the baby gets cash assistance and can send, leave the baby with, a cousin, a relative, whatever, and then just send welfare checks back home. You can support a whole family in the third world. So yes, you can't have the kinds of immigration programs other countries have when you can just have a baby here, and now that child is an American citizen.
I mean, I know it was sarcasm, Sherry, but it's not, because they're talking about it.
Listen, so there's a lot of things we're going to have to take a hard look at, Jesse.
Yeah, they can even get Trump accounts.
Yeah, because they're U.S. citizens. That's what SCOTUS ruled, because they're U.S. citizens. So then we're going to get some more racism, which is this idea that just because you come from another country, you apparently have no innovation, no innovative skills or intelligence at all. It would likely be constitutional for them to set that kind of policy, but it would get sued immediately. It would go to court immediately. I could just see it being similar to like the DNA testing kind of thing, but.
We have people from all over the world, from third world nations that on their own would have never invented the wheel, let alone modern technology, let alone medicine, let alone air travel. And
I think he needs a history lesson. They couldn't deny citizenship if someone violated it and had to get here. Right, right. But again, to me, that just means incentivizing crossing at non-points of entry. Yeah, exactly. Holy fucking racism. The wheel?
Over the world, from third world nations, nations that on their own would have never invented the wheel, let alone modern technology.
China was an empire, a dynasty, excuse me. China had dynasties before we even knew how to wash our ass. Before the indigenous taught us how to feed ourselves and survive here. China had dynasties. And modern technology. Gunpowder, anybody? What? Hey, you guys, when you're celebrating 4th of July, where'd them fireworks come from?
Let alone medicine, let alone air travel. And they can just come into the country, have a baby at a hospital, paid for by you and me, and then that baby's automatically a citizen. That baby can sit on a jury when he turns 18 and sit in judgment of you, and sit in judgment of me, and sit in judgment of our loved ones, can decide who our mayors are, our governors are, our presidents are. Citizenship.
Yet the Mayan, Incas, Aztecs all ruled the Americas without ever using a wheel.
Means
they did like their steps, though. They did love their steps.
Nothing if it is open to everyone. We have.
I'm mad. I'm actually laughing because of the amount of cope. Like, this is just cope. That's what this is. This is cope about a decision that did not go their way. And not only did it not go their way on federal statute grounds, it did not go their way on constitutional grounds. That was a smackdown. Because they could have just ruled on federal statute and we would have been sitting here like, fuck, we're going to have to do this again in a few years, anywhere from 5 to 10 years probably. But no, they did it on constitutional grounds too. Leaves them kind of fucked. And so the reason, Sherry, that I said that I know you're being sarcastic, but we're not at the same time, is this is Andy Ogles talking about it, trying to put forth legislation to do just that.
We're literally going to be dropping Anchors Away, which really put...
Anchors Away is a crazy name, by the way. Can we not? Can we not?
Anchors Away, which really pushes back against the Supreme Court, this idea. Look, if you're pregnant and you're from a foreign nation, you know what? It's time for Congress to pass a law to say you can't come here. You can't have a baby on U.S. soil and exploit this loophole. We're literally...
That's what they're working on now. I'm so glad that they're not working on, those affordability problems that we have as a nation. We're focusing on the important issues, which is just keeping pregnant women that we don't like, that we don't approve of out of the country, but we can keep, flying in. It's not even a loophole. It's the law. We can keep flying in white South Africans and their children. That's fine. We love that. Love to do that. Europeans, no problem, but very specific countries we don't like. So this is Senator Banks kind of saying something similar in that Trump's Truth, which I read to you the day that it came out, saying that there is a directive to be able to do this legislatively.
And the third thing that we have to do, Jack, that's just as the most important thing that we can do between now and the end of the year is pass the Save America Act, but also pass legislation or a constitutional amendment to ban birthright citizenship. President Trump.
The Constitution is a loophole. Well, they say all the time that they're taking advantage with asylum, too. Like, that's the law. But sure.
Said already today that we can do it through simple legislation, not a constitutional amendment. I want to explore every single option that we have to ban birthright citizenship through the
That's where they're messing up. Now, if they want to do something in regards to pregnant women, good fucking luck. You can't even get the Save America Act passed. Good fucking luck. And you're going to lose in the midterm, so it's going to be even harder, sweet baby child. But to sit here and say that you are going to find a way legislatively to do something about the ruling on birthright citizenship is just delusional. That is just delusion. It's a constitutional amendment, babe. What do you need for that again?
Congress, if the Supreme Court says that it's that the president's ban is unconstitutional, then we should find a constitutional avenue to ban it, to stop it from happening with birthright tourism and some of these loopholes being exploited by foreigners. We got to do everything we can to stop
the loophole of just being able to fly and spend money in our nation under tourism. That's the thing that is a loophole, being able to do that. So then Vance is touting the fact, he keeps calling it a 5-4. What I would say is it's like, it was 6-3 federal statute, 5-4 constitutional grounds, if you want to give Kavanaugh with his concurrent dissent. That's scary in and of itself, that they were almost willing to allow an executive order to completely rewrite the fucking Constitution. That's fucking terrifying. Deport people here on marriage visas if they get pregnant. Right! What are you going to do with the K-1? What are you going to do with the K-1? What am I going to do about my TLC trash show? What am I supposed to do with that? What is I supposed to do, Mari? What is I supposed to do? But here he is saying it's hanging by a thread, and so it gives them hope to be able to do something in the future. I don't see how, but sure.
The people that I'm talking to, that you're talking to, are extremely disappointed in this. I do actually think there's a really big silver lining here, and that's the simple fact that a lot of legal experts expected this case to go the wrong direction by 7-2 or even 8-1. The fact that this case was a 5-4 decision effectively means that the concept of birthright citizenship, which is an absurdity to the 14th Amendment, that concept is hanging by a thread. The people
simply just with the conservative judges we have. By the way, Alito, where's your family from? Hey, Alito, where's your family from? Just a question. You don't have to be upset. Damn. So then Mike Johnson gives a little bit more of an honest answer, though. Now, he was studied constitutional law. So he gives a little bit more of an honest answer by trying to placate the masses and Trump, because that's really their ultimate goal, is to glaze Trump, as is yours, and he's trying to glaze you as well so you can continue to glaze Trump. But he's a little bit more honest about the fact that he wants to do something about it. He doesn't know what the avenue is, because if he studied constitutional law the way he said he did, he knows there's not much they can. We expected it would be 7-2 on statutory, and it almost was. Gorsuch was almost there. I'm with Cass. I'm really disappointed in him. I'm actually shocked. Based off of the way he has ruled in like cases of the indigenous, I'm actually really shocked that he went that way. I'm with her. I don't know that we could save him. I don't know that we can. Feels like it's only coming out of my left ear. I'm sorry. I don't know why Manu Raju's microphone always does that when he asks him questions.
The president posted that it's time for Congress to move to end birthright citizenship and that a constitutional amendment is not necessary. Do you agree with him, and will this be your top priority?
It certainly is time for us to do everything that's possible. I don't know what that is. The opinion just came.
We're going to do everything possible, Trump, but I don't know what that is, because Constitution.
I've been so busy today, I haven't even had a chance to read it yet.
Is this a focus that you want? Is this a focus you want to have in the midterms, to focus to end birthright citizenship?
Look, I think it's clearly an issue that merits the attention of Congress. I don't know what the remedy is, how to define it, or the timeline. It would be premature for me to project that, but I will tell you that it's a big concern with the American people because it's been abused. So.
And Tom Kean, can he run for re-election given the way he handled this and didn't disclose this to his voters?
Okay. Let me just say this about Tom Kean. If someone is going to.
And then he pivots to talking about Tom Kean. Tom Kean is back from his I think he was gone for 4 months, and people were asking is he okay? By the way, where's Mitch? Where's Mitchie? Is that why we've had a heat wave? Did hell open up? Are they trying to take him? Mitch McConnell's been missing, but Tom Kean was missing for 4 months. Don't know if you know. I don't have it in here to be covered, but he said that he was diagnosed with depression and he took a break. And I'm so glad he is being honest about his mental health. However, what about everybody else? Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Charter, and two important questions. One, are they going to wait all the way to the midterms to tell us that Mitch McConnell is actually dead?
Probably.
Obviously. And two, how is Olive? We all miss her and love her. Oh my God, how is she? How is her and Nanny?
She's been doing okay. She's taking a break. She's taking a mental break. But I will let her know that everybody is thinking about her. I promise.
We love her and miss it, and we need a good old bye.
We do have a bye. Thank you, RFK.
Anytime.
Mitch's weekend at Bernie's puppet. Listen, somebody needed to take over. Trump wasn't doing it anymore. All right, I got 2 more clips, and then I got a couple funnies, and we will get out of here, okay? So this is Todd Blanche now. Todd Blanche getting in on the action of what DOJ can do and HSI can do in way of now ensuring, I guess, that we're just going to be goalying for pregnant women. We're just going to be, like, at the border and in the airports, at our ports of entry, just making sure that, like, they're not coming in, I guess? I don't know.
I have questions about 2 recent Supreme Court rulings. Let's start with yesterday, the birthright citizenship ruling. I know you guys announced yesterday you're going to ramp up efforts to combat birth tourism schemes. But Secretary Mullen said earlier today there are discussions about other options after this ruling. Can you discuss what other options are on the table after yesterday's decision?
Well, from a Department of Justice standpoint, it's obviously focusing our prosecutors and our law enforcement partners on birthing tourism, and it's a booming industry.
How do you do that? How do you direct your law enforcement officers on birthing tourism? Just a question.
And it will continue. It will continue given the Supreme Court's decision yesterday. There's other things that DHS can do and the federal government can do in the visa process and the application process to try to minimize or limit the opportunity of folks coming here to not to visit and not to do what they're saying they're doing on their tourist visa, but just to have a baby that can then be a U.S. citizen. So.
You're just going to like just start denying applicants and like we're just going to have a new question on there. Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant?
From our standpoint, it's focusing on what is a problem. So everybody should agree that it's a violation of our laws if your intent in coming here, if you're pregnant, is to have a child to become a United States citizen because of our now laws. And so what we have to do as the Department of Justice is make sure our agents, our HSI agents that we work with and the FBI are focused on stopping that. And that's what we're going to do.
Okay. So we're on all sides now. This is our priority and our focus is going after the pregnant women. And then this one, I didn't know where to throw. This isn't really like birthright citizenship or immigration really, but they're asking Mullins about possibly increasing enforcement in New York. And so then they ask him about the candidates. And again, just another example of this administration not understanding the Constitution.
Yes, sir. A candidate for Congress here in New York, Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, has said that she's not okay with any deportation.
Right.
Some other people who won primaries recently for higher office share similar views. Are you concerned about this latest crop of democratic socialists affecting your work?
Well, I would say we went past socialist and now moved into communist.
I don't know where you're getting that from because they're still working within the system, so no, but sure.
I'm for law and order. Full stop. If you're not, we have nothing in common. Who doesn't want our kids to be able to walk on our streets safe? Who doesn't want to hear kids playing outside again?
Did anybody say that? They didn't want that?
What parent? I'm a father of 6. And I have a grandchild coming in August. Who doesn't want their kids or their grandkids to be raised in a safe area? And you should feel safe, even if you're in New York or in Oklahoma, whatever state you come from. And so when you have a aspiring politician that wants to go to Congress and says that they don't want to enforce our nation's laws, especially when it comes to immigration and understanding the amount of people we're getting out.
That's not what she says. She just doesn't agree with it, which she could propose legislation to change the law, right? That's how that works. Maybe he needs a civics lesson. Law and government, maybe?
Now this country that are gangbangers, complete thugs, murderers and rapists. They're poisoning our streets. We've had more.
Oh, yay! More Nazi rhetoric poisoning the streets.
More deaths per year because of fentanyl poisoning than we had in the entire time we were in Vietnam. And they're saying they don't want to get those individuals out of this country?
Nobody said that. You can't find me somebody who said that.
I'm sorry, you absolutely have no place to be serving in Congress.
You have no place to be serving in Congress. Again, my point is I don't think they understand the Constitution. We are a representative democracy. You get to decide who you want to represent you, and that is who New York chose. So.
When I first got there 13 years ago, I would never have thought we're in the position we're in today. I mean, unfortunately, the Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party of JFK
And I wish we would stop saying Democrat. It's Democratic.
anymore.
It's the Democrat Party of Bernie Sanders, who openly claims to be a socialist.
Oh, no, not Bernie. Don't come after Mitten, Bernie. You leave that man alone. Democratic. All right. Let's get to some funnies, and then we'll get out of here. I have to go to TikTok. I apologize for... I apologize for how TikTok has been annoying and auto-playing videos when I sign on, and it's annoying. Don't do it. Now it's not going to load. Oh, there it goes. Loud. I hope it works, because remember, it didn't want to work the last time I did this.
The States, Canada. The States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, to Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam.
The fact he said all these
and
countries.
Sweden, and Iceland, and Finland, and Germany now in one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran. There, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, Yemen, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, Portugal, France, England, Denmark, and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippines, Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana, Burundi, the States, Canada.
It's nostalgic in multiple ways. It just gave me the giggles, and I had to share it because I love it so much. All right, and then I have one more that I'll probably play again tomorrow before we head into the weekend. Shoot, did I not save it? I have a repost of it somewhere. Yes, I do. Okay, awesome. Just for the 4th of July weekend, as we were sitting here talking about the Chinese dynasties that existed way before us and the gunpowder that they used to create the fireworks that we will use, please. If you are in a state that is currently on fucking fire, like Colorado, please do not light anything that goes off the ground and possibly set the fields or your neighbor's fucking houses on fire, okay? Because we're already on fire. Please, if you are in a state with a fucking drought or your state is on fire, please do not be an asshole. The country will turn 250 years old, regardless of whether you light a fucking firework or not. I predict 16 fires. And yes, it is the only time of the year, as a Coloradan who loves her state, I will absolutely be a Karen, and I will call the motherfucking cops on you every single time. And I'm talking to you over there who lives over there who shoot off the mortar shells. Abso-fucking-lutely. I am going to. All right, but in that vein of celebrating 250 years, here we go.
Hey guys, one more thing. Hey, this summer, when you're being inundated with all this American bicentennial 4th of July brouhaha, don't forget what you're celebrating, and that's the fact that a bunch of slave-owning, aristocratic white males didn't want to pay their taxes. Yeah! Hey guys.
All right. On that note, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for completing my goal and then some. Thank you guys for hitting our tap goals. You guys got to 230,000 likes. Fucking amazing. I know I came on earlier. I was ready. I was ready to go. Wanted to get through some of my outline. And then the universe said, no, you're not going to get through some of your outline because we're going to have phone calls. DJ Bookie, I love it when your fingers hurt. You can take a break now. I'm so proud of you. You can take a break now. Thank you, DJ Bookie. So thank you guys so much. Let's see. I know RGP is not on today over there on YouTube and Twitch. So YouTube and Twitch, we might just have to say our goodbyes. But in way of TikTok, TikTok. Who's here? They actually? There's not really anybody live that I see. Appreciate the break. Damn RTP. Look, he had to do parent stuff, and we all get that. Okay. I don't really, Audrey, you can look, but if not, Twitch and YouTube, try to tell that to my neighbors here in Illinois. They've been shooting them for a good 3 weeks. Right. They start, like, a couple weeks before and then it lasts for like a month afterwards. It's kind of a problem. Twitch and YouTube, thank you guys so much. I hope over there on YouTube that you did hit that thumbs up while you were sitting here watching me. If you would like to watch any replays, those are also available on Twitch and YouTube for you. I have a new video over there on YouTube. If you haven't watched it, please go over there and watch it and give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. I would appreciate it. But I will see you guys tomorrow, Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. And I appreciate you guys over there on YouTube.